Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here, and it is a Wow Wednesday, and I'm wowing about a few things as usual. I think I'm gonna start maybe wowing about 3 different things every week on Wow Wednesday. But there's 3 things to wow about today. I'm wowing about wow. One of the things I'm wondering what's going on right now is that the referees have not been posted for tonight's game with New York and Indiana. And that is strange because they usually post the NBA refs every morning at 9 o'clock for the games for the NBA, the G League, and the WNBA on an NBA page. But they have not released any information on who's going to be running this game tonight for game 1, Pacers at Knicks, Eastern Conference Finals. So I have no idea. I can't do the ref report. So I'm wowing about that. Wow, they haven't posted the refs. Something shady's up. Why wouldn't you post the refs? Y'all post the refs all the time, but you're not posting the refs today. Why? Who are the refs for the WNBA games, WNBA and NBA? What are y'all doing? Get your officials report for the day up. Y'all are late. It's 9:30. Y'all should have done this 20 minutes ago. So yeah, right now I'm kind of like, what are the refs? What are the refs? What are the refs? Refresh. What are the refs? Refresh. Nothing. They have not released the refs for today. We'll keep checking it throughout the stream, and we'll see if they do finally wake up and give us the referees for tonight's Eastern Conference Finals Game 1. That'd be awesome. Of course, Oklahoma City winning their game last night. The main thing I'm wowing today is all rookie teams were announced yesterday, and they sleeping on our rookie class. Sleeping. You are sleeping. Just like this picture of Jamal Shead and Jacoby Walter on the team playing. Sleeping. Y'all are sleeping on our rookie class from last year. And you know what? Keep sleeping. Because they're going to come up and surprise y'all over time and wake you up. That's right. I can make a case for the excellence of all 5 of the rookies in different ways for why y'all need to stop overlooking them. I know you overlook the Raptors in general, and I get it. We're back to being out of the playoffs again and not as relevant as we were in the 2010s. But y'all ignoring us is going to be the biggest mistake that the rest of the league going to make. Once again, people ignoring the Raptors are going to find out. They'll find out the truth and the reality when it hits them in the face with an L. And the Raptors are winning a second at Larry O'Brien. Because that's what's coming. Y'all go ahead and sleep on us. Sleep just like Jamal Shead slept with those little Z's coming out of his. Sleep on me. Sleep on me. I'm Jamal Shead. Keep on sleeping. Sleep. Don't hit that alarm. Hit the snooze button. Let them sleep. That's right. That's right. Let them sleep. Sleep on him. Jamal got 2 votes overall for a second team all rookie. And that's where he should have been, honestly. I'm looking at these rookie teams. I'll tell you how I would adjust them. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you how I would adjust these rookie teams, these silly-ass rookie teams. First of all, the first 2 picks of the draft, you know what? They were disappointing this year. Let's just put it that way. I think that both of them were disappointing. These guys were not as advertised. These guys were both, if Andrea Bargnani is a bust, which we're going to talk about him in a little bit too, these guys were garbage, man. Seriously, these guys have nothing on Andrea Bargnani. These French guys that came in the league this year, Sarr and Rissache. These guys were garbage, man. In fact, all right, I'm gonna give one props, and one of them nowhere near on these rookie lists, and that's Rissache. Rissache had a garbage year, and he played 1 good month at the end of the year. That's it. That's it. He had a garbage year overall, and he had 1 good month. And they're going to put him because he's a number 1 pick, and they got to do all this other bullshit. Did they make Andrea Bargnani on the all rookie team back then? I don't even remember. I don't even know if Andrea Bargnani, as a first pick in the draft, was all rookie team. I don't think he was. I don't totally remember. Why the hell is Zachariah Rissache on the all rookie team? Seriously, on either one of them. He's the one who doesn't need to be there. He should be dropped off, and Jamal Shead should be on the second rookie team. You put Bub Carrington on the first team. You take Jalen Wells off the first team. You make that switch. First of all, Jalen Wells should not be on the first team all rookie. Zach Edey's fine. Stephon Castle's fine for sure. I'll even let Alex Sarr be on the first team all-rookie team because he did show promise in certain ways. And Washington honestly had the best rookies this year. Washington had the best rookies this year, and they should have 2 players in the first team all-rookie team because it should be Carrington and Sarr. So those 2 guys, along with Castle and Edey, and then Buzelis. That is my all-rookie team right there. That is who they should have picked for the top 5 rookies this year. Is Stephon Castle, Bub Carrington, Matas Buzelis, Alex Sarr, and Zach Edey. That is who should be the first team all rookie right there. That is who right there. But no, they messed it up. Jalen Wells can be on the second team. He's fine. But Reese Shea should not be anywhere near these lists. Seriously. The second team is okay with Shead as the point guard. Shead should be on the second team. And Wells, along with the other guys who are left over. Klingon, I guess Klingon, yeah, sure, why not? Klingon, fine. Missy, well, just barely. Come on now. He's Missy. He is pretty powerful in some ways, but come on now. He's Missy. Missy is not that much better than Jonathan Mobo. I'm going to say that right now. He's not that much better than Jonathan Mobo. And Jonathan Mobo got a triple-double. He's the only guy in this whole conversation that got a triple-double in any of these names that I've named. The only rookie getting a triple-double this year was Jonathan. So consideration on the Raptors NBA, a little bit better. You know, Washington was one of the worst teams in the league, and they got 2 rookies in the rookie teams. And the Raptors were a bad team too, but we didn't get a single damn rookie on there. And we had 5 great rookies this year. 5. You're going to do this to us. So, yeah, the second team, Shead, Wells, Klingon, Missy, and who's the other one that's on that team too? That I don't even remember. It's somebody silly. It's like it's Kellel Ware. Yeah, I'm okay with Ware being on there too. That's a pretty big second team. That's the thing. They went heavy on the forwards with no offensive skills kind of stuff on these rookie teams. You know, Jacoby Walter had a game winner, y'all. NBA, hello. Jacoby Walter had a game-winning hit shot, and he was coming on strong in the second half. In the years to come, it's going to look weird that Jacoby Walter wasn't on the all-rookie team. It's going to look really weird, honestly. It's going to look really, really weird because in some ways I get it. He was hurt the first part of the season, and you got a slow start because of injuries. But it's going to look really bad in the years to come that Jacoby Walter was not on the NBA rookie team this year. One of them. It's just going to look bad. It's like, I'm not saying he earned it because in some ways he didn't earn it. But in the future, when he's so good, it'll be like, why the hell wasn't he on the rookie team? That's weird, man. Why wasn't Jacoby Walter on rookie team? People are going to say that in like 4 or 5 years from now. They are. Jamal Shead is going to continue to become one of the most heady IQ laden point guards in this league. He's going to be one of the smartest players to play in this NBA in this generation coming up. And he's going to continue to show just all the intangible kind of stuff, the Lowry kind of stuff that, is badass. And they're going to regret it. The 2 people who ever voted Jamal Shead for second team, the 2 people that voted, thank you. Thank you for putting his name on that list, even though he didn't get it. You know, Jamison Battle, you know, he's an undrafted player that didn't even get drafted, and he ended up shooting the best out of all the rookies from 3-point range. You know, that's really damn good. Seriously, Jamison Battle led all rookies in 3-point shooting, and that should be acclaimed. I mean, that's not even a draft pick. That's a guy who was undrafted out of Ohio State that came to the Raptors and went from undrafted to a standard contract this season. It was a 2-way, then went to standard contract at the end of the year. So it's like, we know our rookies are badass. I know in the future, much like that class with Pirtle and Siakam and Van Vliet, they're going to look real good in like 4 or 5 years from now. And even though they don't totally come around and say what they should say about the bench mob class of Raptors rookies, it's known. It's known on the underlying. Everybody knows that the Raptors had a badass bench of rookies that came in around 2016, 2017. And they were a big, huge reason why we won our first championship. Well, this is the same stuff, NBA. We drafted 5 guys. We got 5 new guys last year, and all 5 of them are important in different ways. I talked about Shead. He's going to be like the new Lowry. I talked about Jacoby Walter. Y'all slept on him, and it's going to look real bad. Jonathan Mobo, a multi-purpose player that's very, very useful, that is very versatile, and the only player who got a triple-double in the league as a rookie this year. Jamison Battle, exemplary three-point shooter, a guy who shot the lights out and really shot himself in the league. And then the guy nobody even talks about. Everybody forgets about, even the Raptors media forgets about this guy and doesn't talk about him because they're stupid and they don't understand what's coming. We do. We understood this last year when we got him and we saw him, that this man has the body of Giannis Antetokounmpo. That this man has all the potential in the world. This man is a prince. This man is a farmer. This man is going to be a shot blocking machine. This man is going to be a possible offensive juggernaut. This man is possibly going to be one of the greatest passing forwards of his era, and that is Ulrich Shamshay. It's going to look so good in about 4 or 5 years when all these guys mature and get to the levels in their games, and then they'll look back and see the genius of Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster. Maybe then they'll give them some credit for getting a top-notch 5 rookie class last year. You know what? As I said, Washington had the best rookies last year, but we were second. We were second in this league. Memphis, third. I say Memphis, third. We were second. Zach Edey is amazing. I love Zach Edey. Jalen Wells was good. He started a lot of games, but nothing like what we had in the 5 guys we have up here. The 5 quality, very different rookies that the Raptors had on their team this year. So y'all keep sleeping. Y'all keep sleeping on that plane on Jamal Shead and Jacoby Walter, NBA, USA media NBA, Canadian media NBA. Y'all sleep. And don't worry, because in some ways, just like RJ Barrett, this team don't need the accolades. This team don't need the attention. This team don't need you to kiss our ass like Jason Tatum needs y'all to. No. We will go do our work in silence. We will chop wood and carry water. We will kick some ass. We'll go to OVO Center in the summer as rookies, and we'll kick some ass, and we'll come back, and we will win Atlantic Division, Eastern Conference, NBA Championship, Larry O'Brien, and then you will know exactly who the hell our rookies are. That's right. That's it right there. That's it right there. So, yeah, my amended rookie teams are Stephon Castle, Matthias Bozelis, Bub Carrington, Alex Sarr, and Zach Edey in the starting lineup, with Jamal Shead in the second team with Jalen Wells, Donovan Clingan, Yves Missy, and Kel Ware. That is the proper rookie teams. Forget Reese-Shea. Forget that guy. That guy had a failure of a year. He was a failure as a player, and his team was a failure as a team this year. The Hawks, complete failure. That team is all in shambles. They fired their GM the day after the season ended. So don't give me this crap that Reese-Shea deserved to be on the rookie teams. That man may be good in the next couple of years, but man was a bust this year. I'm going to say that right now. So I'm like, wow. 2 votes, second team for Jamal Shead. That's what we get. Y'all sleeping. Y'all are sleeping. There's my spiel on that. They want to sleep on Jamal Shead. They want to sleep on Jacoby Walter. You go ahead and sleep. They're going to come do the work, and they're going to come back and show you how they did the work and show the NBA. You slept on them. You messed up. Oh, and another note. Look what I did, y'all. This is my Damon Stoudemire Canadian Tire basketball that I got in the first year of the Raptors franchise. I went down to Canada to Canadian Tire, and I was like, well, look at that basketball. I want to get that. It's a Raptors ball. I love the Raptors. It's my new team. They just started their expansion team, and I wanted to get something. So I bought a Damon Stoudemire ball. See, it says Damon on it, and it's got him on it with 20. But the thing that I did that's really cool, it's been behind me. You've seen it on my show many times. I pumped it up yesterday. It's nice and pumped up for like the first time in 30 years, y'all. This thing deflated in the 90s, and I've kept it flat as a memento for years and years and years, and I finally pumped it up yesterday. I will go hoops with it. It's summertime. It's time to put up the hoops. You go down to the camp and shoot some hoops. I got my Damon ball. That's right. Damon Stoudemire, 95, 30-year basketball. This ball's older than you, Scotty. I just wanted to show that off for a second because I was like, man, 30 years, this ball ain't had life. And now I can go down and shoot it. Yeah, I got a new pump. That's why I got a new pump. All right, let's see what's going on. See more papers here. What pop, fam? There you go. Tapping in from the Mountain Time region. Really can't be surprised the league putting the pillow to the head on our rookies. They do it to our whole culture. Yeah, it is. It's part of it. It's shade. It's dumb stuff. It's ESPN. It's U.S. media. It's Canada. Who cares? We ignoring it. We know the truth. The truth is in the work. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Y'all can ignore. Y'all can insult. Y'all can overlook. You can do all that. It doesn't matter. When the games are played, we will show you between the lines in the 48 minutes. We will show you then. That's right. We will show you then. That's right. Trevor J is here. Good morning to the Commissioner of Fun, Trevor J. The point of making money is not so you can buy everything. The point of making money is so that no one can buy you. Whoa, man, I feel that. I feel like, yeah, I don't know, man. In some ways, I appreciate your words of wisdom, but a whole part of it started in some ways. Anyway, that's a great word of wisdom, I guess. Yeah, be able to be your true self so that you can't be bought. I think that's a good way. Yeah. Trevor's saying OKC put the beat down on Minnesota. Yeah, Lloyd is very happy. The Oklahoma City has started the Western Conference Finals on the good note with a blowout. And as I said yesterday, if the Thunder end up blowing out the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's going to be a sweep. And they did. They blew them out. And the startling fact about last night is that the Timberwolves took a huge amount more of threes than the Thunder, and they still lost really badly. They took like 30 more three-point attempts overall than the Thunder. And why is this happening this year? I thought the three-point shot was the most important thing in the world in the NBA, y'all. I thought the three-point shot was king. I thought the three-point shot is the best thing since sliced bread because so many years the three-point shot is the best thing. Everybody has to shoot threes. Jakob has to shoot threes. What is the threes? Why did Boston lose? Oh, this is the shit that I was so sick of this bullshit with the three-point shot over importance in the last couple of years. Well, reality rears its head and says, you live and die by the three. You die by the three. That's right. You die, Boston and Minnesota, by the three. That's right. Maybe the 19 turnovers didn't help for the Timberwolves either. But either way, Thunder are going to get this, and they're going to the finals. So, yeah, sweep on. Get that broom, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and start sweeping. I was watching Terrence Ross last night on Twitch. Thank you, Trevor, for giving the heads up. Terrence just hanging out, playing some 2K, dunk champion, Toronto Raptors legend, Terrence Ross, T. Ross, the Human Torch. Yeah, I was watching him last night. He was very interesting, some of the things he was saying. He was watching the Minnesota-Oklahoma City game. You know what he said? This is what he said. He said, guys, y'all keep saying that SGA is a free throw merchant. What I want to tell you guys right now, that he's getting fouled every time and that it is real. He's not. This is a real thing. I know. I played in the league, guys. And if Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is actually getting fouled, this is not bullshit. This is a real thing. That guy just fouled him. He deserves to go to the line. So Terrence Ross was standing for SGA on his Twitch last night, explaining as an NBA player, as a guy who was there, done it, exactly why Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not a free throw merchant, and that he broke it down exactly. See, you hit him on his arm right there. That's a foul, guys, and SGA deserves to go to the line. And then he went on to elaborate that people like SGA, James Harden was another person he mentioned, are like that. They're just players that know how to draw fouls, and this is not anything weird. And people using this insult on Gilgeous-Alexander is stupid because he's earning these free throws, y'all. This is not any kind of bullshit. Y'all go ahead and call him a free throw merchant, but it's not apropos to what's going on here. This is legitimate earning free throws. He shoots a lot of free throws, but you got to understand the man's very quick. The man's very wily. The man has a lot of body control, and the man knows how to get you to foul him. And Terrence Ross saying it on his Twitch last night while he's watching the game. He's like, y'all, listen, that is a foul. SGA is drawing the fouls correctly. There's nothing wrong with this. And I think that the opinion of Terrence Ross, who played in this league for a long time, is better than Joe Schmo on the couch over there, talking out his ass about why SGA is a free throw merchant and he sucks. I'm just saying. I think Ross knows better. I mean, I'm just saying right there. Yeah, Trevor J saying we had the best set of rookies in the NBA. Overlooked them. They accomplished more than half of those other rookies. Shame on you, NBA. You know, there is a true statistical argument for some of our guys over some of these other guys. This is not like the strongest rookie class in the world. No, it isn't. This rookie class was very weak. And I mean, in some ways, it's like Castle was just the strongest of them. And in some ways, he was good. But it's not like, Victor's year. It's not like other years like Scotty's year. No, it's not. This was a very weak class. And in some ways, they could have thrown us a bone and put Jamal Shead on the second team all rookie. Honestly, they should have. They should have, but they didn't because they don't have to either. So that's part of it right there. As I said, I don't know if we had the best set of rookies this year, but we had top three. We had top three. The three best teams with rookies this year were Washington, us, and Memphis. They were the three best teams with rookies right there. Those three right there. Let's see. Mo's here. Good to see Superfan Mo. Good morning, Rapid Freak crew. This will be motivation for our guys to have an edge. Shaking my head with the voters. Yeah, I wonder who voted for Jamal. I wonder which two voters voted for Jamal and did the right thing. I wonder if they were Toronto voters. Maybe Doug Smith threw a bone to Jamal. Who knows? Maybe Michael Grange was like, I got to vote for Jamal Shead. I saw him play for the Raptors a lot this year. Yeah, it's like, I don't know who voted for Jamal. Thank you. That's what I say. Thank you. Thank you for voting Jamal. That's right. That's what I say right there. Yeah, let's see what else Mo's saying. So Lex, Adriana, Cool Cat, Neil, Kareem, Evelyn added everyone to the list who said they're coming on June the 7th. Had a great day yesterday. Yeah, Mo went down to the NBA restaurant to scout it out and get the reservation locked down. She said the JYD book was all sold out, unfortunately. Man, I was hoping I could get a autographed copy, but they were all gone. But yeah, she had a blast down there yesterday. And we're going to come back June the 7th. It's Monique's birthday party. It will be on the 7th, a Saturday of June at the NBA restaurant, Queens Quay, downtown Toronto. And yeah, anyone's welcome to come. If you're listening and watching this show right now at any time, and you don't even have to be a participant in our chat. You could just be somebody who's watched the Rapid Freak channel, or who Superfan Monique Lawrence is. Come on down and say hi. I've watched the Rapid Freak channel, or I've always admired the Superfan from afar because she is just an amazing person. We're going to be down there. And Rapid Freak family will be down there. Giants of Africa will be down there repping. And we will have a blast. I'm telling you right now. I'm excited. Adrienne and I are getting stuff together for this birthday party right now as we speak. And Monique, I can't wait to see you on your birthday party, June the 7th, 5:30 p.m., the NBA restaurant. Please come, people. And we'll celebrate, have some food, have some laughs, have some talks, have some joy. That's what we're going to do. That's right. That's what we're going to do. The first hangout for the summer with the Rapid Freak family. There you go. There you go. I'll be looking forward to seeing Evelyn and Cool Cat and Neil and hopefully Kareem. I hope Kareem shows up. Mo's saying everything's going to work out on June the 7th. I'm starting to add Raptors Funko Pops to my Raptors collection. I got Scotty and VC. I love it. You got the Vince Carter one. Cool. Yeah, you can see mine back here. I've got two so far. I've got the Raptor and Scotty Barnes. Oh, I have DeMar too. But I don't know where my DeMar DeRozan Funko Pop is right now. I need to find it. But yeah, that was the first one I got. The very first Funko Pop that came out of the Raptors was DeMar DeRozan. And that was like, geez, that was like almost 10 years ago, guys. Seriously. That's an old Funko, the one with DeMar. Yeah, I remember getting it on Queen Street from EB Games, across from, like, next to Steve's Music. Yeah, I remember buying the DeMar DeRozan Funko Pop on Queen Street West near Spadina. Yeah, that was a good day. I was just like happy. I was like walking around downtown Toronto. I'm on Queen Street West, and I go, oh, let's go into EB Games. And it's like, check out the video games. And then I saw the Funko Pops. I was like, whoa, look, they got a DeMar Funko Pop. And I was like, yes, I bought a DeMar DeRozan Funko Pop. It was cool. Yeah, that one's one of my favorite ones, the DeMar one. I need to find it. Where is it? I got to go get it and put it back in here. I took it out of my collection and displaying it too much because at a certain point, I think it was right around when DeAndre DeRozan happened. Yeah. I was like, man, I can't put DeMar on blast right now. His daughter kicked us out of the playoffs. But yeah, the Funko Pops are cool. I've collected them from all kinds of different genres. I like collecting the old ones. I like collecting like old TV shows. Like I had the A-Team. I have Knight Rider. I have music ones. I have like Kiss and who else do I have that's really crazy in music? Oh, I have Guns N' Roses and Rick James and Prince and Kurt Cobain and Jimi Hendrix. I have a Jimi Hendrix one. Yeah, it's a cool collection. Like I enjoyed collecting the Funkos. Part of the reason why I was getting the Funkos was I started treating my life like a video game. If I was writing comedy at the time, and I was wanting to motivate to write a lot of comedy. So I was like, you can only get Funkos after you write a good sketch. So it was like kind of like my carrot leading me to the win, like a mule, like, oh, here's a carrot dangling in front of you. Go get it. And if I said to myself, if you write a good sketch, you can go buy a Funko Pop. And that was kind of like a video game. You go through the level, you get a little reward. So yeah, I was using Funko Pops as like my reward for writing comedy. That's what I was doing. Yeah. Tristan's here. Good to see Tristan Trey. Let them sleep. They'll wake up soon enough, and it'll be a rude awakening. There you go, Rick Rude. Rick Rude. Rude attitude. Let's go. Hey, all you sweat hogs out there, see a real man. It's a rude awakening. That's right. Let's get Cheryl Roberts out of here. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Tristan. It's going to come over time. Ravishing. It'll be a ravishing Rick Rude awakening. That's right, Seymour Pape. Ravishing. That's right. Why do y'all choose to look the other way when you know they slight us? I will say it. I'm blue in the face. We are the bar of the league. Well, I would say this. This is something, you don't want anger to control you, right? We've talked about this a little bit. In some ways, it's like no reaction is the right reaction. In some ways, me making light of this and talking about this, well, this is content for the channel. And coming out and talking about the rookie class and the rookie teams because they came out with them yesterday. So it's timely. In some ways, I want to give it due justice. I want to talk about it because I thought for a couple months this season that one of our rookies would be on all rookie team this year. Because honestly, it seemed like they should. They were high usage and they have the stats. Like Trevor said, we have better stats than some of these guys that are on these rookie team right now. We have better stats up here. Maybe they don't take our stats into account as much because there's a Canadian discount because it's like, oh, it's a Raptors game. And it doesn't matter. They're a bad team. Rookies can get good stats on a bad team. Most of these guys on the rookie team were on non-playoff teams that did not do well. So your excuse of excluding Raptors because they were on a bad team is kind of stupid, considering you got two Washington Wizards on the rookie team. You got two Grizzlies on the rookie team. The Grizzlies were absolute failure this year. Absolute failure. So, yeah, whatever excuse you're going to give me, okay, they're Canadian. We don't care. Whatever it is, it's fine. Once again, we know that this is the action, Seymour. And in some ways, we can get blue in the face. We can get upset about it. But why? We just know how it is. It's been this way for so long. And it's not that we accept it. It's just that we use it to motivate ourselves. Like Monique said, we go to OVO Center, we kick ass, and we prove them that they were wrong. That's it right there. It's motivation, quiet motivation. I mean, I'm not that upset about it. I expect it. Just like you said, we expect this kind of stuff. But you know what? Maybe in some ways, me making this channel, this stream today about it, maybe some of the Raptors come and see it and they say, man, the fans see it and they appreciate us. And they're saying that they thought we should have been on all rookie team. That means a lot from the real ones, the Raptor fans, the ones that, are cheering for us. So, I mean, there's a couple of ways we could look at this. That's right. Fiercey's here. She's saying, good morning, fam, and happy Wednesday. I'm telling you, the ref situation is shady. Probably Malloy will be one of them. Well, let's go look at it again. Let me see if they did put them up finally. Yeah, they did finally. They finally put them up like a half an hour in. It's crazy. All right, so who do we got? I'll go through and do the ref report as we're on the air right now. All right, let me go see. The first ref is Zach Zarba, guys. Zach Zarba is going to be the crew chief. Let's go look and see if he has a better record with Indiana Pacers or the New York Knicks. He has a really bad record with the Knicks. I know this already. Like I know from his from covering him for a while. The Knicks are one of his worst teams. Yeah, he has a 39.8 winning percentage with the Knicks, which is basically 40% winning percentage. and they're the second worst team, Zach Zarba, out of all 30 teams in the league. The only team that is worst record under Zach Zarba is the New Orleans Pelicans, with just a 2 percentage points lower. Now, Indiana's not barn burning with him either. They only win 43%. In fact, the Raptors have a better winning percentage with Zach Zarba than both the teams in the Eastern Conference tonight. So, yeah, favor for the Pacers with crew chief Zach Zarba. He is not – seriously, Knicks fans got to be mad they're seeing Zach Zarba as the crew chief tonight. I'm serious. He is anti-Knicks. He is. I'm telling you, and it's good. I like that. You keep being that, Zach Zarba. I'm fine with that. Be anti-Knick. Ben Taylor, Fred's best friend, is the second ref. Good old Ben Taylor. Let's see what he is on his – I'm doing the ref report live right now. All right, Ben Taylor's New York Knicks record is 44% winning, which isn't good, guys. It's down there. And Indiana's 49%. So there you go. He favors the Pacers too. 49% winning for Indiana and 44% winning for the Knicks. And once again, the Raptors have a higher percentage than both of them with Ben Taylor at 60% winning. So that's what I tell you right there. We win 60% of the time when Ben Taylor's refereeing. The Pacers win 49% of the time. And the Knicks win 40% of the time, 44% of the time. So Ben Taylor favors the Pacers also. So 2 refs so far favoring the Pacers over the Knicks. All right, last ref is Drake Lover, Mitchell Irvin. Mitchell Irvin will be the 3rd ref tonight. Let's see what Drake Lover is saying with these 2 teams, this particular combination of Pacers versus Knicks. No. All right, the Knicks win 50%. In fact, it's the same record as the Raptors. Both teams are 50% with Mitchell right now, 50% winning. But the Pacers are 57% winning. So he favors the Pacers too. So all 3 refs favor the Indiana Pacers tonight in New York for game 1. The alternate is Brian Forte, and the replay center will be manned by David Guthrie. There you go. That's the refs for tonight. All favor Pacers. Hey, Knicks fans, all the referees, you're going to throw garbage at the refs? New York fans, you classless jabronis throwing garbage at people in the street? You're going to throw garbage at Zach Zarba, Ben Taylor, and Mitchell Irvin? The referees for the WNBA tonight: Dallas at Minnesota Lynx, Tiara Cruz, Angelica Suffren, and Teresa Stuck. Washington at Golden State Valkyries, Roy Guillen, Agana Bazi, and Catherine Chang. And Los Angeles Sparks at Phoenix Mercury, Eric Bruton, Kevin Fahey, and Sarah Williams will be the refs for the WNBA slate for tonight. Yeah, so Zach Zarba, man, he really doesn't like the Knicks. I'm not going to lie. He really doesn't, man. He really, really doesn't. Fiercely saying Atlanta went to the play-in, so I'm guessing it kind of justifies their decision, but the Wizards' record was worse than ours. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't justify it. It's not a team award. It's an individual award as a rookie. So it doesn't justify it. Atlanta went to play-in and failed miserably. They went to the play-in and failed miserably. And Fiercely saying at least Jamal got acknowledged, but they'll see how our rookies will rise up next season. We got great preparation this year. Also, we will have 1 or 2 in the Rising Stars Challenge. Yeah, this year we had Grady only in the Rising Star Challenge, and they overlooked our rookies for the Rising Stars Challenge completely, which was another oversight. They really didn't do anything with them. You know, if we had just had maybe just Jacoby or maybe just Jamal and none of the other guys, maybe we would have done better in these things because they would have had more of a focus on them. But in some ways, because we had a group of 5 rookies, once again, there's always an argument that if you have a glut of multiple people, they cancel each other out and they lose more consideration. It can happen. It can happen with All-Star. It can happen with all Rising Stars. It can happen with all rookie team. There can be a little bit of that happening. James is here. He wants to scout Noah Esenge. He's a 3-4. People are high on him, but I see him as a project. Okay, yeah, we'll look at him right now. James is bringing me the scout of the day. James likes to do the scout of the day. And I want to ask you guys real quick right now because I have not fully decided this. We're going to do a Thursday think tank tomorrow, call-in show, and I want to center it around a player. I'm leaving it open to you guys. I was going to do Colin Murray Boyles, but in some ways I don't really want to. If y'all want to do Colin Murray Boyles, we'll do that tomorrow. But if you guys have another player that you want to center the whole entire Thursday think tank around tomorrow, write it in and give me some suggestions. I'll strongly consider it, but I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to do tomorrow. I've even thought about doing Maxime Renault tomorrow for the Thursday think tank. So you guys, it's really who you guys are high on, and we're realistically really considering for the 9th pick in the draft. So please give me some suggestions. We've done Common, we've done Derek. Now we need to do another, and I'd prefer to do a big. I don't want to do one of the smaller players. I want to do a big. Who do we go and look at tomorrow for the Thursday think tank? I'm taking suggestions now. So while we scout for James for Noah, we're going to go look at this real quick. Noah Essengue. Noah Essengue is French. He is from Orleans. He is 18 years old. He is 6'9". He's 194 pounds, and he's only played in France. He has not played here in the United States at college or anything, or high school or anything. He's only played in EuroLeague, Euro basketball. And yeah, he's played for France at Orange Academy. He's played at Orange Academy also. What is Orange Academy? Okay, it's in Germany. All right, Orange Academy is in Germany. All right, let's go look at Noah Essengue. I'm guessing I'm saying his name right. Noah, 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 Noah. No A. There's no A in his name. What? There is an A in his name. Never mind. Shut up. All right, let's keep going. Which highlight should I play of him? We don't want a super long highlight. We just want he's got a lot of game highlights. He's played a lot of Orange team games. I don't want too long a highlight. Let's just do the mid-season highlights real quick here. All right, let's see. This is Noah Essengue. 10 points a game, 4.5 rebounds, an assist, almost a steal. Okay, let's see what this guy's all about. French dude. Okay, that's a big-time dunk. He just threw it down on their head. That's a nice pass back back and forth, a give and go. Okay, he's got some nice wingspan. He's got a nice long arm length. There's a three-point shot. Pretty good hit mechanics in his three-point shot. Not really any hitch there. No weird Chris Boucher stuff. He really extends well with his wingspan and gets up there and gets that ball up over the hoop. You know, in some ways, he reminds me of Rudy Gobert. I don't know why. Like he has like a weird length to him. Maybe it's partly the way he moves his body. That's a nice little spin move off the three-point line to get free and go to the basket. So I like his instincts. He has good offensive instincts. He's also giving me Kevin Durant vibes. I don't know why. He's giving me Kevin Durant vibes too. He's giving me Durant and Gobert vibes. I don't know why. The guy is definitely skinny. I'll say that, James. The guy is a little too skinny, but the frame, if he can fill it out, he's definitely got like the right frame for like length of arms. He's got a great wingspan. I don't know, man. In some ways, he is a project. I can tell he's definitely a project, you know. But I mean, 6'8", and he's 18. He could grow another inch or two. He could end up being close to a 7-footer. The thing is that his offense is kind of polished in some ways. You know, it's not going to translate totally to the NBA game right now, but there's real potential that he's going to be able to do a lot of this offensive stuff I'm seeing in his highlights in the big league. It's just that he's going to have to adjust and get stronger. Man, look, right down the lane, right around people. He's got really good instincts to go to the open spots on the floor with his footwork and make something happen good. That's what I'm saying. There he is in transition. Nice footwork, running with the point guard, drops it off to him. Easy dunk. Just really smooth. Yeah, I like this guy. He's definitely a project. And I don't know if, man, he's actually less of a project than Mala Watch, though. That's the crazy thing. Like in some ways, he's more ready, but he's going to be needing to be bigger. That's my scout on Noah. Noah Essengue, French guy, plays in an Orange team in Germany. Yeah, I think he's pretty good, James. I think he's pretty good. I'll give him a thumbs up. But I don't know if he's a 9th pick fit for that spot. That may be too early, right, for him. Let's see what else y'all are saying in the chat this morning. Fiercely saying, yeah, I was worried about the first half, but after the first half, but OKC woke up. Ant-Man throwing the ball at SGA. I was like, don't poke the bear. And boom, SGA woke up and 0 points for Ant in the fourth. Yeah, I would say this, man. Anthony, you're a great player. You're a fantastic player. But you are adding extra stuff to your plate that you don't need to. I would say this, young man. Until you do something on a high level, like get a championship, maybe you should stop poking the bear too early. Seriously, you got to get some for sure. And your team can be shaky, man. I know Minnesota's like Indiana. In some ways, they're very similar, the two teams, because they're teams that are overlooked, not really marquee teams, but they have actually had very solid success in the last few years. Chris Finch, since he took over the Timberwolves, has been maybe the best coach in the history of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Not going to lie. Seriously, you ask Timberwolves fans who's the most successful coach in Timberwolves history, they might tell you Chris Finch, because honestly, he's gotten them places in his tenure since he left the Raptors as assistant coach that they have never been in their whole entire franchise history. So, man, Ant, you still got a little bit more of the mountain to climb before you start putting on your big boy britches and talking trash like you're doing to SGA. In some ways, his resume is better than yours. And you might need to, in some ways, just play. Let your play do the talking. And the extracurriculars don't make you look good, man. No, they don't. Seymour saying, Lex, that Damon's basketball was the same year Shaquille O'Neal had the KFC basketball with the handprints on it. Yeah, maybe the same. I don't know. Wilson is the company that made this basketball. But do you remember seeing this in the Canadian Tire? This Damon ball, isn't it cool, man? It's such a relic of Raptors history. I mean, seriously. Number 20, Damon Stoudemire, Mighty Mouse, Rookie of the Year. Fantastic rookie year. One of the best rookie years in the history of the NBA, honestly. If you really think about it, that you got to give him credit. Seriously. In the long run, if you really think about it, this man was a rookie on a rookie team. A team that never existed until he showed up. He had to be the team leader. Think about that. That's crazy. That Damon Stoudemire was a rookie of the year on a rookie team, a team that was the first year ever. It's kind of like Nick Nurse winning the championship as a rookie coach. It's really not normal. It's not. And the fact that, like, with all the slighting that we get, that Damon Stoudemire came in and got Rookie of the Year first year the Raptors existed, we had the Rookie of the Year. That's an accomplishment in some ways, guys, that nobody talks about in a way. Like, seriously, Damon Stoudemire, not only that, he's 5'10", y'all. It's not like this man's Victor Wembanyama coming in 7'5", dominating the league with all kinds of physical gifts. He was 5'10", and he came in. And he ran a rookie team with a bunch of veterans on it. I love the story of John Sally and some of the other guys saying, "No, we don't put Damon through rookie hazing because this man's honestly our team player, our number one player, our franchise player, and we got to respect him because he's carrying us." Yeah, I love that story. Prehistoric with Alex Wong. Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's so, in some ways, let's talk about that Raptors culture. Let's talk about some of our great accomplishments. In the first year, we got great accomplishments from a man named Damon that went to Arizona Wildcats and came to the Raptors, came up to Canada, embraced it in the right way, did it the right way, and did all things the right way. Maybe overplayed by his coach, Brendan Malone. But he was a badass, and he was the Rookie of the Year, and he beat the Bulls. That crazy-ass Bulls team with Michael Jordan and all them, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen. Yeah, that's accomplishment, man. We can't sully this. That's right. We can't sully this. I remember that Shaquille ball you're talking about, Seymour. I remember it. Trevor's saying that OKC is very dangerous team. They swarm you like bees. They swami you like bees with defense. So you have to cough up the ball. That's good. And that the turnovers were the big stat that killed Minnesota. I mean, seriously, they're going to try and outshoot them, but turn the ball over and be careless with the ball, you're going to lose anyway. Doesn't matter. I'm telling you, this game is simple. This game has been the same since it started with the Cagers in the 30s and whatever. It's always been the same. You pass the ball around and somebody puts the ball through the hoop. And in some ways, the passing the ball around is the stuff that's been going wayside in the last decade or so. Too much isolation one-on-one. I'm so good I can do it all on my own kind of shit. Well, Darko and his system bringing back the real deal, Holyfield. Basketball is a team game. We pass it around the horn and we find the best shot. highest percentage. And that's the way basketball's supposed to be played. And that's why this era of me, I'm isolation. I'm going to do it all myself. I'm going to ignore my teammates and just work the whole defense by myself against it. That's going to be gone soon. In some ways, that'll be done by very high-powered players still. But for the most part, team concept's going to dominate the NBA from now on. The parity and the salary cap demands it. And, yep. Anybody who's trying to rely on some of the old ways, the ways of the Miami Heat, LeBron James years, the ways of the Golden State Warriors with Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Draymond Green, yeah, that's all stuff that won't work anymore, guys. Because first of all, you can't do it because they won't allow it with the salary cap anymore. And second of all, those kind of systems and those kind of mentalities of a big three superstar kind of stuff, well, the Raptors 2019 championship team put the nail in the coffin and closed it with Oracle Center. That's it. Oracle Arena. They closed it just like they closed that just like they closed the dynasties in the NBA. That's right. That's right. There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah. Trevor's saying Indiana Fever, Riley back to beat Atlanta Dream by 1 point last night. Wow. That's an interesting game because that whole game, Atlanta was kicking Indiana's ass. I was keeping up with it for a while last night. I've been paying attention, score watching on the WNBA for my fantasy team, which I'm very proud. I'm beating Meredith, the two-time champion, so far in this battle that we have for the opening week. And I'm not taking it lightly. MK, if you're listening to me, I'm seriously going to really try and win this week. And I'm ahead of you by quite a bit right now. So I'm really, really going to try and play this out because I feel like it's a big feather in my cap if I beat the two-time champion of WNBA fantasy on this channel, Meredith. Seriously. But I'm just saying, I was watching the scoreboard and the Dream had it in hand, but the Fever came back and won by 1. Wow. That's good stuff right there. Yeah. Seymour's like, I don't want to do Colin Murray Boyle tomorrow. Okay. Let's get some suggestions. Who should we do tomorrow, guys? Who should we do? Trevor J saying, y'all can watch all 4 WNBA games tonight on WNBA app. It's free only tonight. There you go. You can watch the WNBA on there. Teresa Resch brought this up in the interview last week with Brendan Gonez about the TV deal for WNBA. Now, this is the thing. She made a very clear distinction about how we're going to be able to watch the Tempo's games next year. And in some ways, I'm a little worried that we may not get all the Tempo games on TV here in Canada. They better make this happen. I'm serious. Don't fuck around with this, programmers and people. In some ways, be nice to Tempo and give them the airtime. This can really hurt a team if they're not able to be seen on TV with the broadcast. We don't want the WNBA games of the Toronto Tempo to have to be watched through an app. We'd like them to be on cable television, on big networks. Now, this is the way Teresa explained it, is right now the way they handle the WNBA is that both TSN, Bell, and Sportsnet, Rogers, can handle games for the WNBA. And it will likely continue to be like that, just like with the Raptors. Raptors very 50-50 split between Bell and Rogers. Well, the thing is, Teresa described it as this, that the deal with the TV up here in Canada is going to be different than the one in the States, obviously, because there is a difference. And that the negotiation will be not with the Toronto Tempo specifically for broadcasting the WNBA in Canada. It will be with the whole entire WNBA. And I'm a little worried about that because I could see them, even though it's Canada's team, Toronto Tempo, and it is really what everybody up here is going to want to watch, I could see Jabroni, Bell, and Rogers shunning the Toronto Tempo because they may be an expansion team that doesn't win a lot and overplaying the other teams in the WNBA on our broadcasts up here instead of our team. Could this be an underhanded way to hurt the WNBA franchise in Canada? The same kind of way they might try to hurt the Raptors when they started as an early expansion team. And still to this day, there's forces out there that wish the Raptors were not growing and popular and so big and so crazy. There are forces out there that don't want this WNBA team. And I worry, and I really hope that this is not going to be a problem, Teresa Resch. And I know that you're going to be on top of it and you're going to fight for it and you're going to make sure it doesn't happen. That they shun the Toronto Tempo games for higher market games for like the Liberty, the Aces, the Sky, and teams like that. We'll have to watch out for this next year. I would say right now, Teresa, and I know this is a goal for you. You better make sure you get all of the WNBA games on television in Canada, and if you can, broadcast nationwide. Nationwide. Even if it's on TSN4, like they do to the Raptors all the time. Yeah, I think this is important because, this was a very important thing in the wrestling world in the 80s. Part of the way Vince McMahon took over the whole entire wrestling world with the WWF was he bought up TV contracts from the territories in the territory days in the mid 80s and stole all their stars. JYD, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Jake the Snake, stole all their stars and then stole their TV contracts from the people in the regional territories. And, well, you can't really have a business of wrestling if nobody can see it because it's not on TV. So that's the one thing I would worry about in this situation with the way it is that I don't trust the broadcasters, Bell and Rogers, to not shun the Toronto tempo for the bigger market teams in the WNBA already that are maybe more marquee already and established, like Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark. So we better see the tempo games. That's what we want in Canada. That's what we're waiting for with bated breath right now. So make sure this happens, broadcasters. And I know Teresa's going to do her best, and she will make this happen. Trust me. I'll bet you she will. So Seymour wants me to either do it on the guy we just watched, Noah, or Rocco Zikarsky. Well, I would say this, Seymour. I want to pick somebody who's closer to the 9th pick because in some ways I want to orient it something around a realistic 9th pick. And I don't think Rocco is realistically a 9th pick. And as I just scouted Noah, I don't think he is either. You know what I'm leaning towards looking at again? And this may be coming out of total left field, but this may be exactly how Ujiri's thinking, is Igor Demon. Yeah. I know the guy is not really a power forward or a center, but his size is nice. And he has a really interesting skill set. And he wowed at the combine. So I might have to go look at him again today. If we don't decide who we're going to do, he's somebody I'm thinking about, seriously, because I think that he has size enough to be added to the mix, but he's also versatile in some ways, like he can do guard stuff. So he could be a very useful player. I might go look at him. You want to look at Kasparis? Monique wants to look at Kasparis. He's a point guard. He's a big point guard too. I don't know. I'm gonna have to narrow this down. We're gonna have to figure this out. It was easier when Murray Boyles was. In some ways, I was like, man, I don't trust this. ESPN's trying to put him on us too much. This is like Jalen Suggs stuff. They don't put Murray Boyles on our name over and over again. Say, yeah, Raptors should draft Murray Boyles. He's a great power forward defensively, but he's undersized and he has no offense. I'm not trying to get PJ Tucker on my team. That's what I'm saying. Fiercey saying, thanks, Trevor. I will watch while also watching the NBA game. Yeah, that's going to be a big game tonight. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go, Pacers. That's right. Fiercey saying that Michael Malone yesterday saying SGA showed why he should be the MVP. Wow, that's good stuff. I like that, Fiercey. Thank you for that information. I'm going to give you a dunk. I love that he said that. That is a little bit biting. Yeah. In some ways, does that reveal a personal grudge or personal problem with Jokic? In some ways, personally, because it's like, what Nikola says matters a lot on Denver. And if Michael Malone was being too serious and too much of a taskmaster, too much of an old school Bobby Knight, like his dad kind of coach, and Nikola's the force for fun. Nikola's the force for now. I can't believe what he said after he lost on Sunday. Now I'm going to drink a lot of beer for the next couple of days. Oh my gosh. You sound like what Dallas accused Luka of. Nikola, you sound like what Dallas accused Luka of. Seriously, I'm going to go drink so much beer now. I wonder the man ain't had nothing but a beer in his hand for 4 days now since he lost. He might have. 3 days, I guess. It's been 3 days. Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting, man. Michael Malone, you're awesome, man. I love that. I love that he said that. He should be the MVP. That's right. Randolph's here. Good to see Randolph Phillips. Blessings, beloved Raptor freaks. Most informative gang. Be your own self, and you won't be who anyone wants you to be. Be your own unique self and make your impact. Love. I love that. Thank you, Randolph, for your words of wisdom. Blessings to Phillips family, all the Rapid Freak families. Stargate saying do Maxine tomorrow. You know what? I'm leaning towards that. I think that's the one that feels right. I think Renault is going to be the guy. I think is that I'm a center of the think tank around. In some ways, it could be actually kind of like, even though I'm small potatoes here, right? There are people in the Raptors world that keep up on what I'm trying to do on this channel all the time. And even just making a stream with a name in there will put him out in the Raptors fan world a little bit more, and maybe more buzz will get talked about with that player. I've noticed this. Like, seriously, we can be trendsetters on the Rapid Freak channel. If we put this stuff out there, people will find it. And, one person hears what we're saying here. They go say somebody else, and then all of a sudden it's going circulating around Raps Nation. So if we put Renault on blast tomorrow, it may get more traction around the nonsensical prattle makers that Stargate knows too well from X. So let's do our force for good, and maybe we'll put on blast the Frenchman named Maxime. Yeah, Maxime. Yeah, we'll do that. I think you're right, Stargate. I think you're right. We'll do that. Yeah, Trevor's saying WNBA is on ION TV, NBC, and FanDuel Sports and ESPN. That's in the States, Trevor. You live in Fort Lauderdale. We live in Canada. And up here, it's on Rogers and TSN, like all the other sports stuff. Yeah, Cream saying, Lex, we need to get a Rafer Alston Saturday. What? You want to do a Rafer Alston Share Love Club? Interesting. He lived every childhood dream to whomever picked up a basketball and played on a blacktop. Rafer is a Raptor in the history that gets forgotten. I'm not gonna lie. You're right. In fact, I may have not covered Rafer Alston enough. Skip to my Lou. Man, I'm going to have to look back and see if I have done anything on Rafer at all. Either we're going to do a trivia on him, or we're going to get a Share the Love Club on him at some point. I'm going to note this, seriously. I messed up because I had blind spots on a couple of great Raptors like Bargnani and Calderon, but I came around and circled up back on Jose and Andrea this year. So maybe Rafer is one of the ones I got to do. TJ Ford probably too also. Yeah, should I do some love for TJ Ford also? Yeah. Speaking of Andrea Bargnani, they came out with a Stunted Growth on Andrea Bargnani yesterday. Stunted Growth is a fantastic YouTube channel I cannot recommend enough. It's about basketball players and why their careers were not as good as they could have been. It could be about why they were a bust. It could be about why they did not fulfill the potential that they should have. There's been very good Stunted Growths in the past few years. One's on why the Lakers suck with LeBron, why the Brooklyn Big Three with Kevin Durant, Harden, and whoever, insert the third one there, Kyrie Irving, did not work out. Stunted Growth's a fantastic channel. Well, he gave Bargnani the treatment yesterday. It dropped yesterday, just came out yesterday. And I have some gripes with how he portrayed our team. Stunted Growth is not a friend to the Raptors. Let's just put it that way. He looks down on us, and he doesn't really give us our due respect, which is annoying because he's a great content creator, and I love his channel. But yeah, I guess he was being fair in some ways. Like his whole spiel about Bargnani is that he was mismanaged in Toronto. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, yeah, well, that was before Masai. When he was managed by Masai, he was managed to be traded to New York. In fact, it was one of the big first moves that Ujiri did when he took over the Raptors. Was I'm trading Bargnani to New York, which everybody thought was like, you never do that with that contract. And New York fans were in the comments on the Stunted Growth, Andrea Bargnani, saying, don't remind me of this guy. But I'm going to say this right now. Stunted Growth, you're looking back at history with hindsight is 2020. We couldn't have all right, when Bargnani came into league, we've got to understand that his player type did not exist in our league. A big, huge stretch forward that shoots threes and is soft in the middle. Now, his gripe is that the Raptors tried to force Bargnani to be something that he was not supposed to be. But do you not understand Stunted Growth? Because I know you're not a young guy. You're a guy probably, I don't know how old you are. You may be just a little bit younger than me. You do not understand that at that time when Bargnani was the first pick in the draft, the first European ever picked #1 in the NBA draft, that his role did not exist. Maybe there was something like Robert Ori, who was like Big Shot Bob, who kind of shot threes on the outside, didn't really have to do stuff on the inside. But the fact that Stunted Growth could come out with a thing yesterday and go in hindsight 2020 and say, well, the Raptors didn't use him in the right role is why they messed up. Dude, the role didn't exist when he was a rookie. The role did not exist. It's real easy to say, oh, the Raptors messed up because they didn't play him right. Well, that role didn't exist then. And I will say, yes, the Raptors were mismanaged by Colangelo in a couple of ways. The team building was awful. You can put a soft, finesse, big center, 7-footer who doesn't want to play a physical game with another soft, finesse, power forward named Chris Bosh. In fact, that's where you screwed up, Stunted Growth. You didn't even mention that the big part of the problem with Andrea Bargnani was Chris Bosh. Yeah, seriously. If we had one or the other of those two guys play a traditional big man role at that time, we would have been good. Because one of them would have been doing the rebounding and the defense, and one of them could be the finesse offensive player that they could have been. But no, we had both those guys, and it was awful. We had no rebounding, no defense. And that is mismanagement by Brian Colangelo, the GM of the Raptors at that time. But to say that we misused him and didn't know his role, the role didn't exist. And as you said on your channel, that Bargnani was ahead of his time. We all know this. We've all talked about this now. It's like Bargnani, if he was in the league right now, he'd be so valuable. He'd be like one of the top players in the league. You're damn right. It's like he came too early. He belonged in the league of today, not the one he was in before. It's true. And it's true that he had all the expectations in the world being the number one pick in the draft. And that everybody thought that this would be this and this and this, but he wasn't a bad player. It's just that how the hell are you going to live up to number one pick expectations in this situation? You know what I'm saying? Either way, Bargnani's awesome. And I love him. And I love the fact that he came and spoke during this 30th anniversary season and told us exactly how he feels about Toronto. He loves Toronto. He never want to get traded. His experience here has been positive and loving. He may be a joke to some people. Some people may think he's a bust. You're wrong. And Stunted Growth said that at the end of his clip. He said, Andrea Bargnani is not a bust. He said that on there. He said he's not a bust, but he did not really realize the full potential of what he could have been, partly because he wasn't a time traveler. And he didn't live 10 years later. But it's a great clip. Y'all should watch it. He says Toronto's mismanagement a little bit too much for my liking. And in some ways, like I said, that's my biggest critique is Stunted Growth. It's real easy to say in hindsight with all the things that have happened that you can tell this is what they should have done. But at that time, we didn't know any of this shit. We didn't know what the league was going to be at this point with 3-point shooting and stretch bigs and stuff like that. So it's real easy to have 2020 vision in hindsight. That's what I say. But yeah, I highly recommend watching it. I highly recommend subscribing to the channel. It's fantastic. And they're coming out. He's coming out with all kinds of stuff all the time on why basketball players stunt their growth and the pitfalls they can fall into. I think this is a channel that all young NBA players or people that aspire to be in the NBA need to watch regularly, because all the cautionary tales, all the missteps, all the failures, all the mess ups, all the things you could shoot yourself in the foot with about ruining your NBA dream are in this show, and they could tell you, you can watch it and you can learn what to avoid right there. So yes, Stunted Growth, cannot recommend it more. Thank you for the Andrea Bargnani. I am wowing over it. But that's my take on what he did with that. Yeah, that's my take right there. Yeah, let's go back to the chat and see what you guys are saying. That's right. Let's go. Monique is saying there's a new article out on Ryan Nebhart by Liban Osman. Yeah, I didn't read it. I'm going to say this. Ryan Nebhart, the brother of Andrew Nebhart, is going to get drafted this year, and he's going to be on a team, and he's going to be in the NBA. That's what's going to happen. And you know what? A couple weeks ago, that wasn't a sure thing. No, it wasn't. But this past week, it became more of one. And you know why? Because of the combine. Nebhart, Ryan, participated in a lot of the scrimmages. And they say that, participating in the scrimmages at combine could be either a double-edged sword, either good or bad. You could look real bad in it. Some guys just don't play in those scrimmages because there's too much room for looking bad and dropping your stock. Well, Ryan dared, and he went out there and he played in those scrimmages and he kicked some major ass. And because he did that, it's now looking like a lot of experts and different people are saying he's probably going to get drafted and he will get on an NBA team. This is fun. It's another Canadian going to the league. It's a brother of a guy on our Team Canada, Ryan Nebhart. It's going to be fantastic. So we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. Would Indiana sneak a pick on him somehow? Would he be on the Pacers with his brother? Could we have an A Nebhart, R Nebhart thing going on next year? That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. It'd be fun to see them play together, right? That'd be so fun. Stargate saying, skip to Malou. That's right. Rafer Alston. This is how you know this is a real Raptor Freak channel. We're talking about Rafer Alston. We're talking about Andrea Bagnani. I got my Damon Stoudemire Canadian Tire basketball from 1995. You can see the wall behind me. Come on now. We're talking real Raptors culture here. Nuh-uh. None of this trade bait bullshit, Giannis crap that people are talking about right now. No. We getting the real culture and history here. We did Chris Boucher trivia yesterday. Come on now. We're building the culture here. That's right. Most saying, no, you haven't done anything on Rafer Alston. I know. What am I doing? I need to do this. I need to rectify this. I need to do this for him. And big F you to Sam Mitchell. That's right. We're going to celebrate Rafer Alston here. All right, let's keep going. Trevor's saying, Lex, your family, if they want to see Atlanta Dream games, they can watch it on Peach Street TV in Atlanta. Well, they're here right now. They're not in Atlanta. They're here in Canada with me in Ontario. It's fun, man. I'm doing all these projects with my dad right now. We're doing stuff like demolishing things and building things and, doing all kinds of fun projects. It's just cool, man. I just love being around my parents, man. It's so nice to see them. I don't get a lot of time with them because they live in Atlanta. And when I do get the time with them, it's very, very cherished. And, I get over a month with them right now. And it's just fantastic. I got all kinds of fun stuff doing with my parents, playing Scrabble with my dad, talking to my mom and going for walks, talking about the garden and around the house and what my mom wants to do with the garden. It's just valuable, amazing time. And I feel so blessed and grateful that I have time with my parents. I will say that right now. Yeah, but yeah, I asked my dad, have you watched the Atlanta Dream play at all? And he's like, yeah, I've heard of them. But I say, well, do you watch them? He's like, not really, no. I've tried to encourage them to go to Skyhawks games at College Park. But yeah, they go to Hawks games sometimes. I mean, there was a game this year that my father and my brother and my nephew went to, and Harrison got to high five Scotty Barnes when he left the court. There were the two games against Atlanta. In Atlanta, when the Raptors went there, they played 2 games in a row against the Hawks in 3 days. And my family went to the second one, and they were cheering the Raptors big time. My nephew went down there with the big, huge Raptors hat on his head and with his Scotty jersey. And when Scotty exited court, high five, Harry. So yeah, it's special. We'll see. When Tempo come in, maybe they're going to be going to Atlanta Dream games because they want to see the Toronto Tempo. That's right. Randolph saying, Lex, how about looking at the big closer to our pick at 39, just in case we don't go big in the first round? Well, this is definitely something I want to do closer to it. I think that leading up right now, I want to do like 3 or 4 Thursdays, and this will be the third one tomorrow. This will be the third one. So maybe 2 more of concentrating on the 9th pick, and then we'll do one that's kind of more supplemental towards the 39th pick and the options there. It's harder to predict than 39th pick, obviously, because it's so wide open what could happen. Although we did predict our first pick in the draft, the second day of the draft last year, which was Mobo. Yeah, we got that one right. Well, everybody's predicting it. Scotty predicted it on Twitch. I was saying it on this channel in the months ahead. Draft Jonathan Mobo, Raptors. And they did. They went and got him, and it was awesome, and Scotty cried. And, it's like predicting the 39th pick is so hard, especially with a guy like Masai Ujiri. I mean, this guy could pull people from out of nowhere, and you wouldn't even know the name. And so it's kind of hard, but we'll definitely concentrate on the 39th pick also in the time very close to the draft, as far as kind of how it seems like things are shaping up, Randolph, for sure. Kareem saying, every time I grab prima pasta, I think of Andrea. Every time I make P&J sandwich, I think of Fred VanVleet and Pascal. These commercials are playing significant role in my everyday life. Yeah, Raptors fans are susceptible to advertising. I will buy products that I would not buy normally because there's Raptors on it. I bought Axe stuff. I bought Osmos. I bought some Sprites, 30th anniversary Sprites this season, just because it was the 30th anniversary Sprite cans with the Raptor 30th anniversary logo on it. So yeah, we're susceptible to this, and these commercials play in our heads forever. Pizza, pizza ball. Pizza, pizza ball. There's so many good ones. Like, what about the little miniature like guys they had that one year? Jonas was making like miniature ballers, mini ballers. Remember that? It's like, I'd like to paint them. It makes me feel calm. It's like, what was that mini ballers thing with Jonas Valanciunas? It was like there was a thing that they did for a while that they don't do anymore. Thank God, because every time somebody did the commercials for this thing, they'd end up being like having a bad year or something would happen. I forget what that company was. It was like the website company, right? Right. Then when the miniature ballers. Yeah. I remember at some point they stopped letting the current Raptors do those commercials and Muggsy started doing them. Muggsy Bogues started doing those commercials. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Wayne saying, morning, Raptor freaks. Common sense would dictate if he was a new prototype, which means he must have been mishandled. You know, this is what I'm going to say right now. Once again, remembering this period of time in Raptors history very well, because I was paying attention as close as I am right now, maybe a little less closer, but I was still the diehard Raptor fan that cared about everything the same way I care about it then. Andrea Bargnani was partly drafted because of Mauricio Garadini, and he was the assistant GM alongside Brian Colangelo, your Italian guy. And in some ways, he was very close with Maurizio. Andrea already, and that was part of the reason why we took him. Some people didn't agree with that, and some Raptors fans still get mad, and they're like, we should have picked Brandon Roy or somebody else. And I'm like, man, seriously, we did what we did, and I'm glad we did what we did. In some ways, we're the foreign team, and we picked the first European number one pick in the league. And honestly, with the way things have gone in this league since, that's kind of like important. Because Bargnani is a trendsetter. Without Bargnani, is there Luka, Nikola, Giannis, all this stuff that came from Europe in the time since Bargnani got drafted. So he really is kind of a trendsetter for something that was a real huge, big wave in this league, the European players coming here and being more and more dominant. I'm just saying this once again, people got to understand the league was not looked at like it is now in that time when Bargnani was drafted. There wasn't a role like this, a primary role where you were a stretch forward and you could just shoot threes and not have to play physical down low. It just wasn't in compute in our brains at that time. So it's like, you can't really say that he was mishandled because there's no like example of how he should have been handled before that. How about that? Like, seriously, how do you mishandle something you've never seen before in your damn life? You don't know what it is. In some ways, there's like that's what glass barriers are broken, glass ceilings are broken. People strive and they go past something that they weren't supposed to do. In some ways, they're in an awkward, weird place where it's kind of like this is alien and foreign and weird, like Victor Wembanyama. It's just like, I don't know. We're breaking through into a new era, like Wemby is going to be. And we don't know exactly how it is. And in some ways, it's awkward, weird. It may not exactly fit completely right, but it gets the next version comes out and it's a little bit better and it fits better. And then all of a sudden you got Luka in the league from Andrea Bargnani. So I really think that once again, that stunted growth is doing hindsight is 2020. It's real easy to look at what's happened since and play revisionist history and say, well, this is what the Raptors should have done instead. At the time, we had no idea what to do with him because he didn't fit in the league because the league didn't fit him. And how the hell are we going to handle him correctly? We're going to force the whole entire league to bend to our will and say, this is how we're doing it now. No. So, I mean, I don't totally get it. I don't totally get it in Stunted Gross argument on how we mishandled him. I say we mismanaged our team as far as the personnel and not fitting correctly for winning ways. But I don't know how we could have handled him better. in some ways. I mean, sure, we're all over the place with different coaches and different ideas about what he should be doing. Some years we told Bargnani to get in the post and just try and force him to be physical. Some years we were kind of like, nah, don't worry about it. Just shoot a lot of threes and block shots and you'll be fine. I mean, the league wasn't ready for him. That's really the damn truth right there. And Stunted Growth admits that in his piece, that the league just wasn't ready for Bargnani at that time. He really wasn't. Kareem saying the half-ass Rona commercial reminds me of this channel. The half-ass, because he said you doing it half-ass? Yeah. Somebody dissed Rona the other day in here. Let's just do the straight goods on Canadian goods. A hedge fund owns Rona, apparently. So don't, U.S. hedge fund, don't shop at Rona. Go to Home Hardware. There you go. Here's your straight goods on Canadian goods. Today we're talking about Earl's. You guys know Earl's Kitchen and Bar. It's a premium casual restaurant that was founded 43 years ago in 1982 by Leroy Earl Fuller in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's right. This is a restaurant that has 70 restaurants currently today in the U.S. and Canada. You can go to Earl's in the United States. In fact, they have Earl's in Miami. Trevor J, just so you know, they have an Earl's down there. And if you go to Earl's, you're supporting Canadian company. Earl's is down in the financial district. That's the location I know. It's down on King Street. And all the big wigs eat down there. They come down from their towers and they eat their fancy dinners and their steaks and stuff. You know, at the Earl's in downtown Toronto, they let a Canada goose have a baby, like in the planter outside. They didn't disturb it. The Canadian goose made a nest in the planter at the Earl's restaurant in downtown Toronto. And they let the babies hatch and everything was fine. It was beautiful. They made a big story about it. So Earl's, good on you for allowing a Canada goose to make their little nest in your planter at your restaurant here in Toronto. So if anything, forget about the highfalutin Earl's. Just the kindness towards environmental concerns like that Canada goose. Shop at Earl's. Buy Canadian. There's Earl's all across Canada. There's quite a few here in Toronto. And there are Earl's in the States. There's one in Denver too, guys. So yeah, if you know Earl's in Canada or the United States, you go eat at Earl's, you're supporting Canadian business. So there you go. Earl's is my straight goods on Canadian goods right now. Earl's restaurant and bar. Y'all ever been to Earl's? It's highfalutin. Yeah, I remember I ate at Earl's with my writing group from Second City once. It was very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. Yeah, let's keep going. Randolph saying, yes, do Maxime. I like him. If we don't get our big at 9th. Okay, we'll do Renault then. We'll do Renault. I think that he had a good enough combine and that in some ways there's a lot of buzz around him. I want to add to the buzz. Let's get some buzz going for Maxime. That's right. Stargate saying Sam Mitchell rubbed a few players the wrong way. Vince, Skip, Jerome, Jerome Moisu. I don't know about Jerome Moisu. I don't know about that. Yeah, Sam Mitchell's a weird one, man. And I mean, you see it when he does a broadcast still. He's a ornery guy. And he will talk some crazy smack. He has no filter. He has no filter. Remember, he put that man's beach address on blast because he pissed him off in the middle of broadcast? Some guy in the U.S. on NBA TV said some crap to Sam, and Sam got mad. He said, oh, we're going to go out on your timeshare in Tampa. This address. Bloop, 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 beep it out. This man's giving a home address to his co-host on NBA TV because he's all mad at him. And then you see Sam going back and forth with people. You know, he does a little bit before the broadcast. Him and Leo are a little. And sometimes they get into a Kate Burness and Kia Nurse and different people. But yeah, Sam Mitchell, some of the stories are epic. I mean, the story about his fight with Vince Carter in the training room is weird. Vince Carter poo-poos it. Other people say it was a lot bigger deal than it was. And Vince is like, no, man, it was nothing, man. It's just, it was nothing. And Sam's kind of poo-pooed it too. But other people that saw it said it was a lot worse than they're trying to say. Sam Mitchell versus Vince Carter fight in the training room. You know, and then the other stories about Sam Mitchell, they're crazy, is that he used to tell the players who they could date and who they couldn't date. Did you imagine that? Your NBA coaches tell you, no, man, you need to stay away from that woman. She's no good for you. Stay away from her. I don't know. Is that what happened with Jerome Moisu? Moisu was with some hottie from the side of the court, and Sam Mitchell saw it. He's like, no, you need to not date that woman. Get away from her. Yeah, Sam Mitchell had some problems with Alston. Sam Mitchell had problems on the down low with Chris Bosh to a degree too, guys, just so y'all know. Just so y'all know. Let's see. Cream saying 000 Schmitch. 000 Schmitch. That's funny. Cream saying I actually tried to buy CJ's PJs, but it was sold out. That's right. That was another one. CJ Miles did it was GoDaddy or something like, right? It was like some sort of website where they're saying, yeah, you can get the website, set up your website for your business. And Jonas had the miniatures and CJ had CJ's PJs, but they're sold out. Yeah, every time somebody did these commercials, they had a bad year. Like CJ Miles did this commercial and then he had a bad year. It's like, I don't know. The PJ's commercial was too good. He got distracted. The business was too good. Mo's giving my cutoff. W stream, W vibes. Go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Strong forever. Keep limiting the comments. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've got almost 40 minutes, but we'll keep going a little bit more. Thank you for the cutoff time, though. Stargate saying the thing I like about Maxim is that he is fiery, like a Tyler Hansbrough, but he is a well-spoken kid who seems to know the game, seems very coachable. I'm going to go deep dive on him today. We're going to cover him on the Thursday Think Tank tomorrow. I'm going to go watch a bunch on him. And I'm going to learn as much as possible about him this afternoon. So yeah, I'm going to come back prepared tomorrow to talk about Maxime in a very in-depth way, guys. So yeah, we'll see this tomorrow, Thursday Think Tank. Of course, the phone lines will be open. And this is the the day of the week where you guys can call me and be on the air and have your voice heard over the broadcast. Now, if you guys are not wanting to call me, that's fine too. I don't mind either way. It's optional. The option is there. If you want to call me, call me. But if you don't want to call me or you don't want to call, that's fine too. We'll see if anybody calls tomorrow. Kareem saying Andrea was 10 years ahead of the NBA, just like Ja Rule was 10 years ahead of singing rappers. But he spawned a whole generation of rappers such like Drake. Yeah, I could see this comparison, and it's fair. It's fair. Yeah, I mean, in some ways, Bargnani was like Dirk, because that's the whole thing. Dirk came before Bargnani, and in some ways, Bargnani was drafted to us partly because of Dirk. We got to remember that. Dirk Nowitzki was a certain type of player out of Germany, but the thing is, Dirk had more physicality to him, and that's why he could fit it better. Like, he didn't shy away from getting in there and getting rebounds and doing some stuff down low. And that's the big difference. But can we forgive Brian Colangelo and Maurizio for wanting to have a Dirk Nowitzki kind of player on our team named Bargnani? And was it fair to have Bargnani have to be compared to all the other first picks in the draft or even Dirk Nowitzki? Was that fair to Andrea? No. But you know what? Listen, I think Andrea's story is a really good tale for people to look up to. Just look, man, this guy, he honestly didn't have any dreams of playing the NBA. Seriously. A couple years before he got drafted in the NBA, he didn't think he was going to be in the NBA. He was just a dude playing in Italy. He was off the radar. But all of a sudden, it happened really quick and developed really fast. And all of a sudden, he was in the NBA. And not only that, he was the first pick in the draft. You can't imagine this, like, you know, Jamal Shead, Jacoby Walter, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett, they all dreamed about playing the NBA when they were little kids. And when they were coming up, there was a direct path in thinking of it. Andrea never did this. I'm telling you right now, he said this very clearly. He had no idea he'd ever play in the NBA when he was a kid. He didn't think it would be possible. He didn't think that the line to get there was there. Well, he made it, and it happened. And in some ways, that's part of the reason why he was kind of like a deer in headlights, was because it all came so quick and so fast at him. And he was not prepared for it, because he had never had years and years of dreaming of it and thinking it into fruition. It just happened. It's crazy. And then, of course, coming here and hearing all the different things said about him, soft, he doesn't want to play physical, that must have been tough on his mentality. And I'm going to say this, Andrea Bargnani is a great role model, because he's showing people how to turn the other cheek. In some ways, all that stuff from the past that is negative doesn't matter to him at this point. He only remembers the positive stuff. And he's not holding grudges. And he's not like saying, oh, you guys were jerks for being so mean to me when I was on the Raptors and the press and the fans and stuff like that. No, he's nothing but love still. And he thinks fondly about things in a positive way, was the city of Toronto, the Raptors fans, the Toronto Raptors as a team. It's all good. And I love him for it, man. I think that he's a badass. And honestly, he's an underrated Raptors legend. He really is. And I appreciate you, Andre. I really do. You're full-fledged Raptors alumni that is fully in my heart, bro. Seriously, man. That's what I got to say right there. He turned the other cheek. He doesn't have hate. He doesn't have hate. That's right. That's right. Wayne's saying, Kareem, what does the half-ass comment about this channel mean? Mishandled might be a strong word, but used optimally might work. Well, this is a part of the joke from like this is part of the thing I created partly because in trivia, I was getting upset with people putting half names in. Like we'd have a question and somebody put in Johnson. And I'm like, well, that's half-ass answer. Johnson, that don't mean nothing to me. Do you mean Irvin? Do you mean DeMar? Do you mean there's so many Johnsons that played in this league over the years? Dennis Johnson? So I told people during trivia, Wayne, to stop half-assing it. Give me the full name answer. And whenever people play trivia, if they give me a half-ass answer, like just one of the names, like they say something like Giannis, I'm like, well, I want the full name. I mean, I know Giannis he's a one-name person like Madonna or Prince, but still, I want the full name answer. And that's why I say no half-assing. So it became a big thing on this channel for a few years now. And that's part of the reason why Kareem was full ass for a while, because he was one of the people most guilty of half-assing the trivia questions. So he said, I'm going full ass. And he did. And then he became the butt dialer too. But that's where half-ass comes from. And I'm going to be honest too. Every time I hear somebody say the term half-ass in other places like that commercial he's talking about, I think about us. I'll be honest too. I'm like, damn, this half-ass thing is everywhere. After I thought about it, it's like, damn, are they people saying this more partly because you just put it out there more? I don't know. Half-ass has become more in the vernacular on media in different ways. It's very interesting. I don't know if the rise of half-ass had anything to do with our trivia, but there is a lot of half-assing going on around the world, and that's the spawn of half-ass, of where it comes from. I hope that explains the story, Wayne. It's organically from us. That's right. Mishandled might be a strong word. Wasn't used optimally might work. Once again, Wayne, I'm gonna say it again, and you were there too. The league didn't have that role that everybody says he should have been in. It just didn't have it. It just didn't have that role. It didn't exist. It exists in this league. It exists in this league and people like Dean Wade. But it didn't exist in the league that Andrea played in. And that's why it's impossible. His chance was impossible from the start. There was no chance because in some ways he was a square peg trying to be put into a circle hole. And that's just not going to work. That's just not going to work. Kareem saying trivia Tuesdays. I always used to half-ass my answer. Yeah, he's giving the answer here, what I just said. So I was known to be half-ass. Then I changed my name to full ass and then butt dial. That's right. Yeah, it's been a thing for me on this channel. I got a few. Yeah, there's a history. There's a nickname history. And, the butt dial story is hilarious too. That was like Kareem had his phone in his butt, in his pocket, and he somehow butt dialed subscriptions for my channel, like $200 worth or something like that. It was crazy. He was sitting on his phone and somehow, some way he gave out a whole bunch of subscriptions to people on my channel. Yeah, it was crazy. That was the butt dial. It was so crazy. Yeah, nicknames. They're nicknames. Let's see. Stargate saying, oh, he had some strong comments about Jerome, basically saying he was a waste of a great NBA body and physical blessing. Basically calling him lazy. Well, I expect that from Sam Mitchell. Smitch, no filter. He's going to say what he's going to say. It's on his mind. He's going to say it. In some ways, I respect that. In some ways, also, I can see where it's very toxic. Yeah, Moiso didn't deserve that. I mean, I get it. Maybe it's frustrating because you see a guy who had a body that you wish you had in Sam Mitchell when you were in the NBA. You still made a really great career for yourself in the Pacers and Timberwolves and many other teams. But, I get it. Wasted potential. There's a ton of this out there. Watch Stunted Growth. That's right. Classic story Instagrams. All right, let's do Instagram first. All right, let's see. We got Leo Routens first. Every sunrise is a chance to try again. Good morning. Coffee again. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Leo, for your words of wisdom, getting them from you. And also, Leo's doing something, a book event coming up, guys. He's read a book called Hello, Grace by Lydia Knorr. And he's a Canadian basketball personality on TSN, it says here. And it says, Hello, Grace unwraps the complexities of suffering, guiding readers on a path to rediscovering themselves and embracing the happiness they truly deserve. I love that Leo's all about this kind of stuff, like these words of wisdom and self-help and trying to help people see the world in a way where they can be happier. I mean, I'm with you on this, man. I try and do the same thing on this channel. That's why I kind of piggyback off of your stuff and bring it in here to put more on blast in some ways. Put it, it's not because I'm trying to steal your content, Leo. It's because we love you. You're a Canadian sports legend and icon. You taught this country basketball. And in some ways, I just want to further your message out there. And I share the same kind of mentality of, wanting to help people be happier. And that's it right there. That's it right there. We want to help people be happier. And that's what we're all about. Lloyd celebrating the game last night for the Thunder. He's got this guy dancing in the parking lot. And that's what Lloyd's doing. He's dancing right now. We see Orlando Robinson's working out. I'm not sure where the gym is he's at. He's at Dose or something. Some sort of, I don't know. But Orlando's putting in the work, Orlando Robinson. I'm still following him. I like the guy, man. I really do. I like Orlando a lot. It's too bad he's not going to be back. But you know what? I only wish the best things for Orlando, and I hope that he had a nice time in Toronto while he's here. Yeah, Raptors 905 are celebrating Asian Heritage Month, and Coach Arslan staged MLSC Launchpad clinic for the youth at MLSC Launchpad recently. Awesome stuff. 905 celebrating Asian Heritage Month. Very, very cool. There's the Stripes. They're doing drills with the kids, doing all kinds of stuff down there. That's very, very cool. Let's go. Good job, Coach Arslan, running that event at the MLSC Launchpad. Zach Edey celebrating his first team all-rookie selection. That's right. You and your teammate, Jalen Wells, first team all-NBA rookies. Why is Riz Sachet on that list? I'm just going to say that over and over again. Why? Shamshay is celebrating Yves Misty getting on the all-rookie team. So he has a love for his fellow African friend, Yves Missy, getting all-rookie second team, and Shamshay wanted to highlight that. Gary Trent Jr. is back down in Hollywood, Florida, at his off-season stomping grounds for training at Remy's. So, yeah, he's back down there. Year 4 with Gary is this trainer stretching old GTJ out. We still love you, Gary. I'll still cover you, man. I don't care if you're a buck. You're our dude, man. Toronto Tempo has a contest out. Toronto Tempo live at Stack. Enter for a chance to win season ticket deposit for the Tempo games. Very, very cool. Come down to Stack Saturday or Sunday to enter this weekend. Andrew Jones putting on blast his daughter Heidi, I guess, is out playing basketball. The only junior WNBA program in Ontario is what she's involved at. Oakville is where that's at. There's your Instagram stories for today. Kind of quiet. The Instagram has been kind of quiet recently with the players in different ways. They're just kind of incognito right now, on the down low, kind of keeping to themselves. It's the middle of the summer. They've had a month off since the season ended now. And, they're in their off-season workout modes. I know a lot of them are spending a lot of time at OVO right now. I know they are. Wayne's saying, agree with Sam on Alston. It was obvious he was running his own street plays and not the team, so his teammates had no idea where to position themselves on the court. This is one aspect of it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's totally true, though, exactly. This is a tough one because this is like anything with the conflict. There's two stories, and then there's the truth in the middle. That kind of thing. I mean, all right, I'm going to say this, and Rafer has spoken on this, and this is kind of where he's at with this. It's like, look, much like what we were just talking about with Bargnani, he's a certain type of player, and we know his roots, and we know where he comes from. He's a street baller. He's a Rucker Park a luminary. He's a guy that is absolutely fantastic, just like a Harlem Globetrotter would be with the ball and his ball handling and doing crazy stuff. Now, Rafer Alston, for the record, has said this about his time with the Raptors, is that he played within the NBA game. It's just that when he could, he added his little flair from his street ball stuff, but he really did conform to the NBA game. And we got to give him more credit because he did not just for us, but for the Bucks also, when he played for them too. He really did play the NBA way. He did add little flashy things here and there, but why not? Jason Williams was doing this stuff. White Chocolate was doing this kind of stuff, and he was able to do it. I mean, I feel like this is a dumb criticism. I don't think that Rafer Alston was throwing the ball off people's backs of their heads or throwing them passes where they weren't ready for them. I mean, we saw this with Scott in his early years when he was doing no-look passes and people just weren't ready for passes. I think that that's normal, that teammates, that's part of why you got to get time on the court and gel and know what to expect more and more. But I can remember Rafer saying in recent interviews that he very strongly tried to convert himself to an NBA standard player and not play so street ball style. He could switch. He could switch between the two. Now, is he going to do some of the street ball stuff in situations on the NBA court when it permits and he can get away with it? Yes, and he should, because that's the kind of style that can sometimes be very beneficial in certain ways. I mean, you can look at Jason Williams in Sacramento and what Jason Williams, White Chocolate, did in his career. That didn't hurt his team. That was helping his team. So I think that what we should say here with Rafer Alston and Sam Mitchell in this situation is Rafer Alston didn't get enough time to play with the team and chemistry-wise to get settled where they could expect him and understand what he's capable of, because the reps didn't come enough. And maybe Sam Mitchell was too much of a control freak and saying, you guys need to do this, this, and this exactly how I say. And maybe Rafer was a little bit of a rebel. I don't know. I understand where you're coming from with this, Wayne, even though I kind of disagree with it. I mean, it is detrimental if the player's being too flashy over fundamentals and we're causing turnovers too much. Yes. But was this actually the case with Rafer Alston when he was on our team? I don't know if that was true, because that may have been rarer occurrences than you thought. And I did really see him make an earnest attempt to be as NBA type of player, not street ball type of player in this league. He really did try to conform. And the talk that he was just out of control and maybe just doing crazy stuff, that's not true. Because if you watch the old Raptors, he played very solid point guard stuff for us when he did play for us. He wasn't any more reckless or anything than anybody else that played for our team. Now, Sam maybe had no time for any of that stuff, and maybe he was like harping on it. Maybe he was kind of in practice harping on him and making fun of him a little bit. Oh, we play real ball in the NBA, Rafer. And none of this crap with what you do, skip to Malou and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know for sure. But I do know this. Sam Mitchell's story and Rafer Alston's story is not necessarily totally the truth. And the truth's probably somewhere in the middle. Probably somewhere in the middle. Trevor's saying, I'm making my prediction. Indiana is going to beat New York tonight. There you go. I like that, Trevor. I like that prediction. I hope you're right. I really do hope you're right. The refs are looking good. Stargate saying they're definitely pros as well as cons with Maxime, though. When you scout him, Lex, pay attention to the way he shoots. See if you see an issue there, like I do. I will. I'll pay special attention to that, Stargate, since you pointed it out. I will do that later. Trevor's saying, second time in NBA history, all four teams in the conference divisions are on the drought of 30-plus years. You mean of not having a championship? What? I don't understand this comment. All four teams are on a drought of 30-plus years for what? I mean, the Pacers were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They're not on a drought from the Eastern Conference Finals. Are you saying with championships? Well, they say that I guess that counts, because if it's championships, okay. They're still counting Seattle for Oklahoma City barf. That's 79. And the Knicks haven't won since 77 or something like that. Yeah, so it is. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird way of putting it. I mean, let's just say there's going to be a new champion again. That's all. We could just say that. It doesn't matter the length of time. I mean, I guess it does, but it doesn't. Indiana, last time they won was in the ABA. They won ABA championships. Pacers won ABA championships back then. Minnesota ain't got anywhere near no championships. Oklahoma City has a fake one from Seattle. And New York hasn't won any championships since the 70s. And in fact, they've only won 2 championships, and that was in the 70s. That's crazy. Let's think about that for a second. The New York Knicks have been in the league, just like the Boston Celtics, since the very first year of the NBA, have not changed, have not moved, have not gone anywhere. This league has been in effect for 75 years, and they have 2 championships out of the whole 75 years. That's pathetic. I'm not going to lie. Especially when you look at the Lakers and the Celtics and how many championships they have. The fact that the Knicks have only got 2 chips in the whole entire existence of the NBA is pretty pathetic, honestly. It's really bad. Really, really bad. really, 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 really bad. Stargate saying, I hope Leo realized that his tank mentality when it came to the Raptors was completely nonsensical. He needs to apologize. I don't know if he needs to apologize. His take was his take, and the Tank Nation loved him for being a hero to them. But it was misguided, and I think the verdict is, once again, Josh Lundberg said it on Blue Skies. It didn't matter if the Raptors tanked or not. It wouldn't have mattered this year, and that's what I was saying the whole entire year, this whole time. And honestly, this is just the truth forever now. Seriously, anybody who thinks tanking is a valid method or strategy for a team to do, just shut up. It's been proven to not work. Adam Silver hates it. He's done everything to make the rules against it, and doing it will make you pay and hurt you. It doesn't matter if you tank. Look at Washington. Look at Utah. Look at what they got this year. They didn't get the first pick. Dallas didn't do no tanking. They got the number one pick. Did they? Did they tank on purpose? No, they did a crazy ass trade, and they had some weird stuff at the end. But in some ways, Dallas wasn't trying to lose on purpose like Philadelphia was. Although Philadelphia tanking paid off for them. But honestly, it doesn't matter because Philadelphia can get all these first picks like they did with Fultz and Embiid, and it doesn't matter. They'll still fumble. But yeah, I don't think Leo needs to apologize. I think that in the future, hopefully Leo won't promote tanking mentality, is what I would say. I don't think he needs to apologize, though. It was a valid argument to make on the show, and a lot of the fans echoed him, which is stupid. But anyway, yeah. I think that he realizes possibly that he was misguided at this point. Maybe. I hope Keon Nurse educated him real quick. Seymour saying, salute Edey, well deserved. Yeah, Zach Edey, first team, all rookie. That's fantastic. Some people have been saying that Zach is kind of not a really good rookie year, but yeah, honestly, this rookie class was very bad, and in some ways, Zach Edey was definitely one of the top 5 rookies for sure. Seymour saying we had the right coach to mend and school Rafer. White Chocolate was a great player. It just sucks he was in a very immature system that did not add up to winning. Okay, let's see. You're saying we had the right coach to mend and school Rafer. White Chocolate was a great player. It just sucks he was in a very immature system that did not add up to winning. Jason Williams should have won in Sacramento. He got railroaded, just like the rest of the Kings did when they played the Lakers that one year, and the refs absolutely ref hit job them in the most egregious way. The Kings were winning, and the NBA scriptwriters wrote the Lakers to the finals to the detriment of the Sacramento Kings on their best year that they had. It's Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, Peja Stojakovic, Jason Williams got screwed over for Kobe and Shaq. And that's just the damn truth. And in some ways, that series is the very textbook way you can go see just how much the refs can manipulate things, because it was egregiously bad. It looks so unfair and so scripted. If you watch that Sacramento versus Lakers series I'm talking about, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. That's where you got screwed. In some ways, Jason Williams and the Kings were a very good team, and they maybe should have won a championship, but they got screwed by the refs. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. Kareem saying, do we have an MVP yet? No, they haven't announced the MVP yet. It's weird, but they will very soon. Terrence Ross announced it last night on his Twitch stream, saying we're going to have our third ever Canadian MVP. That's what he said. Terrence Ross believes that SGA will be named the MVP in the next couple of days, and he will join Steve Nash as the 2 Canadian MVPs ever. Steve getting twice. That's right. Wayne's saying, okay, Steve versus the Wolves was a decent game. Wasn't crazy intense, but anticipating a ramp up as we progress. Austin did not bring sufficient wins. I saw those games, and even Jones and Smith concurred. Well, I mean, there is the argument that Rafer Alston wasn't good enough to win in the NBA. I mean, I'm just trying to say that I know that he tried really hard to conform to the NBA. It wasn't like he came in and he said, I'm a street baller. I'm going to do whatever I want. One of the things about the whole idea of street ball and doing things in the NBA that aren't totally on script, like the flashy stuff, like LaMelo does now, this has been a fight since the integration of more black players in the NBA over the years. In the very early times, some of the street ballers that were black that came from the big cities that came into the NBA were doing stuff that was just athletically crazy good. Like some of the dunk stuff, some of the dribbles, Earl Monroe in particular was somebody that the NBA wasn't totally ready for. And there was a lot of racism against street ballers in the NBA. There's a history of racism towards street ballers. And saying you're not playing the game right. The game's supposed to be played this way and fundamentally. So this is kind of a weird subject as far as Rafer Alston versus the conventionalism of Sam Mitchell, because in some ways the NBA makes money off of the street ball athleticism and ingenuity and stuff that they do, but also at the same time it kind of hates it on the down low in some of the ways that Stargate and I talk about in our conspiracy theories. But I would say where I am with it is I want basketball to be winning basketball, like you're saying in your comment here, Wayne. And Rafer Alston did not add up to winning basketball. That's right. But I don't think it was because of how he played flashy. I think it's because he wasn't a good enough NBA player to elevate the team to that. That's what it was right there. And I think that there's still a struggle with the limits of street ball kind of mentality and goofy shit that is not necessary in the game. Some of the stuff the LaMelo Ball did, some of the stuff I get on Scotty for looking back when he didn't do that this year. Did you guys notice that? That Scotty didn't look back on dunks as much as he did in years past. He didn't do it as much. Thank God, because that's a habit I want him to break. But that extracurricular stuff, it's like it generates money for the NBA because it's fun, LaMelo Ball. But it also at the same time, there's disdain for it on the down low. It's a really weird thing. It's a really weird thing. In some ways, people want to come and see an amazing dribbling spectacle by Rafer Alston in the middle of the game where they go, ooh, ah. But then again, like you're saying, Sam Mitchell's coming down on him saying there's no place in this league for this as far as we want winning basketball, and that's too flashy and too goofy. You know, it's a weird versus, you know, it's historically been one. In some ways, it was very like old white fundamental basketball versus black street ball for the 60s and 70s when integration was getting more prevalent and the NBA was changing under players like Connie Hawkins and Earl Monroe. Because those guys were kind of like, they were like, holy crap, you can't be doing that. That's not the way you're supposed to play this game. You're doing too much stuff with your dribble, Earl Monroe. That's too much. No, we can't handle this. You've got an unfair advantage, street baller. Stuff like that. There's a lot of that. I'm reading in the Black Ball book that I'm reading by the former Raptors dance pack dancer. It's really interesting. I should start reading that book again. I put it down. I read a chapter and I put it down for a couple weeks and I read another chapter. I'm more than halfway through the book, but it's very fascinating to talk about, the integration of Black people into the NBA and all the different things that happen, like in the early times with struggles with the union and the owners and trying to get paid correctly. Oscar Robertson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, stuff like that. Yeah, it's very, very interesting book. Highly recommend it. Black Ball is the name of the book. Yeah, let's see what else y'all are saying here on the chat. A legend. Trevor's saying that was so nice that Giannis went to the autistic child's house and signed a shirt for her, a jersey. Yeah, Giannis Antetokounmpo. There's a clip of him. You know, these players are doing this kind of stuff all the time. There's players all across the league that do Make-A-Wish and do all kinds of different stuff for charity and always looking out for people and doing stuff like this. Yeah, that was a nice moment. Giannis is a nice guy, but this is common, and it's nice to see. It's nice to see. I won't lie. Stargate saying Jason Williams was not on that team, Lex. It was Mike Bibby. I remember that game well. Jason Williams wasn't on that Sacramento Kings team at that point? Wasn't Bibby and Williams on the team together at some point? Maybe you're right. You might be right. I know Bibby was there too. I don't know why I was thinking that Williams was there. But, Williams was successful in Sacramento in his era there too. They had good winning teams when he was there too. Let's not act like Jason Williams was a bad point guard in the league because he was flashy. That's not true. Jason Williams had a long career, and he was very, very good player, and he played big time. He made big shots for teams too. So I don't know, man. Flashiness on the court in some ways is part of the entertainment of the NBA, and it's essential at this point. But I don't like it when it gets in the way of winning. That's where I don't like it. I don't mind it though. Otherwise, I don't mind it otherwise. Chloe's saying, how do we feel about SGA being called a foul merchant? I think that it's false. I think that it's made up. I think it's stupid. I think that SGA, like Terrence Ross has said last night, he earns the free throws, and there's nothing weird about it. There's nothing weird about it at all. It's just something that's happening because he's that kind of player. He's that quick. He's that fast. He understands how to draw fouls, and they are fouling him. And you can call it a foul merchant if you want. Maybe you call anybody who gets a lot of free throw trips a foul merchant, but it doesn't matter if they're actually getting the free throws correctly or not. I think that SGA gets the free throws correctly. So you can call him a merchant. Yeah, he's rich with free throw attempts. You can call him a merchant for that. But if you're trying to say that he gets to the line too much because he doesn't deserve it, you're wrong. That's what it is right there. You're wrong if you say that right there. That's right. Boom goes the dynamite. Stargate saying he was traded before that season. Jason Williams was traded to like Miami or something before that. Okay. Well, I don't know exactly the timelines, but still, we know he was around that nucleus of the Kings, and he was a part of building that program up. And much like DeMar wasn't on our championship team, he did help build it up, right? So in some ways, the Kings were a really bad team for so long. Lionel Simmons, Dwayne Coswell, so many years of bad stuff. Reggie Theus, just sad Sacramento Kings days. It wasn't until that nucleus around Weber and the Divac that they got going in the playoffs and started doing things. And, so in some ways, I think that they were a very successful team. In some ways, that Sacramento Kings team didn't win a championship, but honestly, they were one of the best Western Conference teams in the years that they were together. And there were years that Jason Williams was on that team that is included. That is included. Yeah. Let's see. Kaloy, I already read that. Let's see. Monique is saying Toronto Raptors, Emmanuel Quickley is the NBA Cares Community Assist Award winner for April. The league will donate $10,000 to IQ's hometown Boys and Girls Club. Cool, man. That's very, very cool. I like that. Emmanuel getting an award for April. He's the NBA Cares Community Assist Award. Very, very cool. I like that. And he went to Grizzlies, not Miami. Okay. Let's see. Wayne's saying, Lex, whenever you're challenged, you always come up with the correct statement or decision minus the racism take. I agree with your analysis. Alston just wasn't an able NBA team player. He did try to fit. Yeah, he did really try earnestly, because this was the big knock about him coming in, is saying, yeah, that stuff's not going to fly. Some of the stuff that you're doing with the ball is not going to be able to happen in the NBA. And he really did try to conform. It may be that he tried to do some of this stuff in practice and Sam came down on him too, right? That may have been part of it too. It's like it's on off time and you're in practice and you're kind of more loose and it's not as serious as the game. Maybe Rafer was doing some of the street ball stuff there, and that's when Sam got mad at him. But I think he respected the NBA game and he tried to conform. Yeah, the racism take that I'm bringing up is more historical. I don't think that this is a racism part with Sam and Rafer and even the stuff with LaMelo now. Just saying the origins of street ball in the league, there was a lot of really weird shit going on in the 50s and 60s about street ballers and guys that came from the parks, the black players that came from the urban centers of the United States. They had a whole other style than the farm boys, the white boys that were playing before, like Larry. And there was a clash. And some of it was racist. It very much was racist. Like people were saying, stop playing that ugly street ball that y'all play in the city. Play the right way, the white way in the league, the way that we're playing. There was that kind of action going on around the NBA. And it was perpetuated by the fans and the media and the owners even. And even some of maybe the white players that were in the league already. So it's weird. There was a struggle for civil rights in general in the United States society and in the NBA as a organization. And then even with the game of the basketball, there was a struggle in some ways. Yeah, with the philosophies of how it should be played correctly and what it is. In some ways, I mean, look, I thought it was racist to tell people it's like if just because somebody physically can do something you can't do, you shouldn't be telling them, oh, you can't do that. That's why they outlawed dunking in the league for the longest time. Because it was like too much of an advantage for a player like Wilt Chamberlain to dunk. Too much advantage. There's all these other guys who can't do it. So they make some of the rules kind of like to kind of hold people back. It's more historical. Its place in the NBA with street ball is kind of the subject. The history of it is kind of because we bring up Alston. He's a part of that lineage, right? He's a part of that lineage. We'll definitely do some celebrating of Rafer, though. We'll definitely. I mean, I'll do it before the end of the summer for sure. Kareem saying Rafer never did anything street on the NBA floor. He was well respected in the street because he was able to transition professionally. Skip to My Lou did not make a huge career, but on the street, he's a legend. He's totally a legend, man. Totally a legend. And in New York City, just the Rucker Park circles, yeah, he's just he's like a Mount Rushmore guy for New York street ball. He really is. There's been a couple guys. The Raptors had another guy that was a street baller who came in the league named Sweet Pea. And he was another guy. He maybe had a little bit more trouble getting into the NBA game from the street ball games. Lloyd Daniels. Yeah, in some ways, he also had problems with getting away from the street problems, if you know what I mean, too. Let's see. Stargate saying they were traded for each other. Who was Rayford for Jason? Was drafted to the Kings. That's right. He was. Yeah, Kenny Smith was in the dunk contest for the Kings against Jordan. Yeah, it's amazing dunk contest where Kenny Smith did the free throw. He had his back to the basket, the free throw line, bounced the ball between his legs, bounced it, and it bounced off the floor, hit the backboard. He turned around and jammed it, like threw his own alley-oop between his legs from the free throw line. It was one of the really coolest early dunk competition dunks Kenny the Jet Smith did. In some ways, that's the thing I feel like he's the most famous for. Sure, he got the rings with Olajuwon on the Rockets. But the thing that stands out to me about Kenny Smith's career is that dunk. That dunk was amazing, man. Honestly, I don't think anybody's ever tried to do that dunk since. Like, have we seen anybody do the Kenny Smith free throw back to the basket dunk ever since? I don't think we have. Trevor J saying, that's what people do. Anything too good, they always try to degrade it because SGA is too good at what he does. Yeah. And I mean, there's definitely guys in this league that get helped by the referees and get too many touch fouls that they shouldn't. But I don't think SGA is that guy. I don't think he is. In some ways, the evidence is in his athleticism, his quickness, and just how lithe and slithery he is. He could easily just if you're a martial arts person, you have complete control of your body and being able to put your arms in certain ways and striking with your legs and arms. And well, SGA can strike into free throws with his arms in certain ways with body control. He can get to the spot, get to the place in the lane, and he could just kind of put his arm out in a certain way. And if they touch him, the refs will call it. And that's a touch foul, but he's manipulating that situation because he knows he can get it. And if you want to try and win, well, that's a way to do it. But this is the thing also. They won't give you those calls unless you can show that you will make the shots besides them. Like if you're going in there just to lane, just to try and initiate contact, just to get free throw trips, the refs will catch on to this. And that's why sometimes our young Raptors don't get calls, is because the refs may be looking at the drive to the basket and saying, is that a realistic basket that he would actually make? Or is he just trying to drive in there to get to the line? That's the thing you got to think about with free throw merchants, is do they have a realistic chance that they're actually going to score the ball? And are the foul people actually robbing them of points or not? Because if you are showing that you are consistently making those baskets and the only thing stopping you is a foul, then you go to the line. That's the thing. He could take contact and still make the shot and get a 3-point play. He could take contact and still make the shot and not get a missile. The referees will see it and they'll get a body of work over time. They'll say, well, that's Gilgeous-Alexander, man. We know he'd probably make that shot. So, yeah, we need to put him on the line for that. That's part of the whole thing about free throw merchants. Are they realistically a scorer that will actually make the shot? Well, we need to put them on the line, Trae Young. We need to put them on the line, James Harden, even if they're initiating the contact themselves and drawing the fouls as free throw merchants. So that's what part of it you got to think about with this whole thing. This is a good subject, talking about SGA and free throw merchants. Well, like I said, I heard Terrence Ross's take on it. And that man is right. That man got fouled. He goes to the line. That's right. Blackhawk saying, thank you, Thunder. Now do it again. Thunder, 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 Cats. They need Lion-O and Panthro to show up there. Yeah, Chitara. Anybody have whatchamacallit? A crush on Chitara? Thunder, 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 Cats. Seymour saying Harlem Globetrotters, 100%. Yeah, they're still going, man. These guys pass through all the time still, man. Harlem Globetrotters are such a cool thing, man. They're such an institution. And in some ways, they've done so many great things over the years, man. They're just awesome, pure entertainment, and just really just diplomats, man. They've done so many interesting things, man. I'll even watch that old Super Harlem Globetrotters cartoon from the 70s with Curly and all them. And like they turn into superheroes, and Curly's like a basketball head all of a sudden. Curly Neal is another legend. We talking about legends right now. Curly Neal, Rafer Alston. Let's go. Let's go, Curly Neal, man. That dude was awesome, man. Curly was the best, man. Let's see. Stargate saying and one mixtape Street Ballers. Skip to my Lou. Hot Sauce. The Professor. I remember him. Professor was awesome, man. Yeah, Professor is a little shooting guy, man. He's like looking like a little Justin Bieber motherfucker. And that man could shoot. The Professor. Yeah, Escalade. You remember him? Escalade, man. That big, huge guy. Escalade. Yeah, I used to watch some of the N1 stuff. So, seriously. Sebastian Telfair. That's another one. That's right, Seymour. Sebastian Telfair was a Raptor, too. Yeah, he was on our team for a little bit there. Yeah. Kareem said Master P was also a street legend. Is that true? Master P, No Limit Soldiers? I don't know about that. I mean, I guess he was on some level. You're right. He was on a lower level. Yeah. Wayne's saying, what's great about SGA is he's not reckless. Comparing to Ja Morant, who's athletic, but just seems careless and reckless. SGA is under control. I don't see him as graceful, but controlled offense. Yeah, he is really controlled. And really, that's the thing about the greatest one. Seriously. That's part of what Siakam is, too. Siakam, Jordan, SGA, they have supreme body control. Like, they really know where every cell of their human matter is when they're moving on the basketball court. The footwork is impeccable. The placement of where the ball and where they shoot from, the repetitions that they do in the offseason to work to get that body to just work like a machine and do the exact motion for success. That's why Jordan looked like he did in the air. That's why SGA looks like he does when he tries to score. That's why Siakam looks like he does when he spins. I'm telling you, it's body control is a huge thing. If a player has it, like these guys are coming in the draft right now, let's look at these guys and who has body control, who has the ability to control their body with footwork. You know, I watched another stunted growth yesterday. It was on Thon Maker. One of the problems with Thon Maker is when he came in, he was a unicorn. And everybody said, oh, he's a big, huge guy who can shoot threes. He can do all this. He's going to be the cheat code. He's going to be the guy who comes in and is just like the player character you make in the NBA video game. That's just like a ridiculous, like really tall guy that can shoot threes. The thing that they didn't realize about Thon Maker was that he didn't have the body control that I'm talking about right now. He didn't understand how to use his body. He didn't understand how his body could be an instrument on the court. So he was useless. He had all this stuff they sold us on. I mean, he was actually older than they said, and he actually had a worse shot than they tried to portray him as. And this stunted growth says, well, he wasn't the unicorn that they said was coming, but Victor is. And that what Thon Maker was promised as is Victor Wembanyama at this point. But yeah, that's the thing. If you have the body control and the sense and the ability to control yourself with your body, it's a really good strength to have in the NBA. Scotty has it. Scotty has some good body control in certain ways. It's important. And I totally get what Wayne's saying here about the comparison between Morant and Gilgeous-Alexander. Morant is kind of like a mosh pit. He's kind of like, we're just going, and you know, SGA is more like a ballroom dancer. There's actual footsteps and pattern and what he's trying to do. And Morant's kind of just all amok and going crazy and coming at you aggressively. And I think that in some ways you could make that comparison and the difference between them and the outcomes with their health as a change in like the things they're having. John Morant's missed a lot of games, not just from suspensions for knuckleheadness, but for injuries. And that recklessness of the way he plays has hurt him in some ways. But Ja's going to be Ja. We found that out. He's just going to have to be who he is. He can't change, obviously, because he's still making some of the same mistakes that he does. That is what it is right there. Boom goes the dynamite. I like what Wayne's saying, man. And I really like the discourse between me and Sergeant Wayne Strainer today, man. We're not totally exactly lining up, but we're finding common areas. And this is awesome. This is awesome. Mark Tavares is here. Good to see Mark Tavares, new name in the chat. Mark, we talk Raptors every single morning here live. It's a place where Raptors fans that love the team for the right reasons. They're positive Raptors fans, not just toxic ones, to come in and talk about the team we love with respect to the culture and the history of our team now 30 years in with a championship in 2019. There's a lot of other places that disrespect the Toronto Raptors, but we do not here at Rapid Freak Channel. And I love you, Mark. I see what you're saying. At Kareem Thomas, Rafer Alston had a pretty respectable NBA career. Yeah, he was in the league for a few years. And, you know, it's a weird thing, man. The other thing about Rafer, much like a lot of European players, he came late, right? He didn't come in right away, right, real young, right? He had a period of time where he wasn't in the NBA, but then he came later, right? And that may have been some time lost on what could have happened with him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was doing more and one stuff when he was very young, right? And then he came to the NBA game late, like Jorge Garbosa. And Jose came in right. Well, he came in the NBA late too. Arvydas Sabonis, another guy, came very late in his basketball career. He's already hurt, and we never know what the prime Arvydas Sabonis would have done in the NBA because he was over there in Europe still. So, yeah, that's one thing. Alston had some years in the league, and he could have had more if he came straight to the league. That's right. Yeah, let's see. Master P. You're all about Master P? Okay. Blackhawk saying, you got Thundercats and Thundar the Barbarian. Thundar the Barbarian. What an underrated cartoon, guys. I think that was one of the greatest 80s cartoons in the world. Ukla the Mott. Yeah. Yeah. That was such a great show. I mean, in some ways, it was kind of like heavy for a kid to watch because it's like dystopian, messed up nuclear war America that blowed up. It's like kids are watching this like, wait, is this going to happen someday? Thundar the Barbarian world where like everything is destroyed because we destroyed ourselves? I don't know. It's kind of looking like that, Donald Trump, with your idiocy down there in the White House. But I'm just saying, like, Thundar the Barbarian was a heavy cartoon, man. It's like, I am a human, like He-Man, and I run all around this territory with my friend Uka the Mott, and I fight alien mutations that came from the radiation of nuclear war. It's like, wow, what a heavy cartoon, and what a badass one, too. What was his female friend name? I forget. What was her name? Like Tila? It's not Tila. It's something like that. But, man, what a great cartoon, man. Thundar is so underrated, y'all. If y'all need to watch some Thundar, it stands up. Seriously, you can watch some Thundar today, and it's like, I don't care if this is an 80s cartoon. This shit is badass. I'll watch it right now, and I still get it from there. Yeah, Thundar, the Barbarian, with his sun sword. Yeah, he was cool, man. Stargate saying Kareem was also a playground legend. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, or you mean Kareem Thomas? You might mean Kareem Thomas. Yeah, I think he was a playground legend out in the West End of Toronto. That's right. Blackhawks saying, go Pacers, go. I'm all about that. Let's see. Seymour saying, LAC Derek Jones Jr. is a street baller, in my opinion. Okay, he can jump out of the gym. Well, I mean, if we're going to say that kind of stuff, where's Shaden Sharp then? Shaden Sharp is street baller? I think it's historically, if they're kind of known from that world and they come in like Rafer, like Lloyd Daniels, like Earl Monroe, you know, they kind of have to have a reputation prior to NBA entry for being that. And then there's kind of like, well, this is like a street baller guy who's in the NBA transitioning. And in some ways, it's like it's got to be a prior body of work, like And One mixtape, something like that. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a prior body of work. Trevor's saying New York Wren's first basketball team was in Harlem. Yeah. Yeah, before the NBA, it absorbed a couple of different leagues in the Northeast basketball. And, you know, the Celtics existed before the NBA. The Celtics were in the leagues before, and they do have championships from before the NBA. They don't count them, though, like really. But, yeah, it's an interesting thing. It's kind of like the Leafs with some of their championships were from pre-NHL, the Maple Leafs. So, yeah, it's interesting stuff, man. Interesting stuff, man. All right, we're getting into old cartoons here. Who remembers the Herculoids and Space Ghost? Well, that was on with Thundar, right? There was the Herculoids, which was a family that lived on another space planet, and they were like family ranchers or farmers, space farmers, and they had like all kinds of animals that they lived with. There was a mother and a father, and then the son, Jace. I think his name was Jace. And Xandar was the father's name, I think. Xandar. And there were the two blobs. There was a dragon. There was a big rock gorilla guy. And then there was the Triceratops that shot rockets out of its horn. And it was always funny because, like, all right, that cartoon was funny because it was like the bad guys of the space world would show up on their planet. And there'd always be like a story like the bad guy would be like some evil alien overlord, and they want to extract the resources from the planet that the Herculoids live on. And they're coming in and like, we must get the vibranium from the mine. And they come down there and they're trying to extract it. And Xandar will be out walking his animals. He's like, what's going on over there, Jace? I don't know, Dad. It looks like some alien outlaw pirates or something like that. And I'm like, oh, we better find out. And they're just like nice farm people, the Herculoids. They're like, what are you doing around here, you outsider? It's like, we are here to get the mine, the vibranium. I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that. And then they get their animals to sick them. Herculoids, yeah, let's go. Thundar and Herculoids. Ooh, I'd be good with that. Original Space Ghost was good too. And they had those guys that were teenagers that were in space too. They were part of this show too. I forget what they were called. They were like space aces or something like that. There was an orange dude, a silver dude, and a green dude. And they rode like motorcycles and rode around in space, and they fought crime in space. Man, those were good shows, man. Really, really good shows. What happened to Tac Fall Guy was a giant. What happened to Taco Fall? Taco Fall. What happened to Taco Fall? Well, too slow. Absolutely giant, but way, way, way too slow. Too slow. Yeah, it's basically it. Taco Fall. Yeah, Mark Tavares, thumbs up to you, sir. Thank you for the subscription. Stargate saying Fang Face. Fang Face. That's another one. Jabberjaw. Jabberjaw is basically Curly from Three Stooges as a shark. Oh, woo, 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 woo. Yeah, that was a good one, man. Of course, that was the whole genre of Hanna-Barbera. They were kind of taking, it's kind of like anything. It's like someone's working, just make a lot of them. Like reality TV in the early 2000s. Man, let's just make a whole bunch of reality TV shows. Survivor. Well, Scooby-Doo had an effect. Hanna-Barbera is like, man, we just need more cartoon mystery shows with an animal and a group of teenagers. Captain Caveman, Speed Buggy, and there was always one character on those shows that was basically like the version of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. There's like a Fred, a Velma, a Daphne, and a Shaggy, and they would be the four kids. And, Jabberjaw had this. Jabberjaw was Scooby-Doo. And there was a orange-haired guy with wore orange who was basically the Shaggy of that show. So it's a very formulaic cartoon time for Hanna-Barbera with Jabberjaw, Scooby-Doo, and Speed Buggy and stuff like that. There were a bunch of these kind of shows. There was Clue Club. That was just like Scooby-Doo. I mean, they used dogs again with Clue Club. They didn't even say, like, we're not going to use dogs. There were a ton of these shows Hanna-Barbera was putting out with kids solving mysteries with a talking car or a dog. So good. So good. Grape Ape. Oh, Grape Ape was good too. Beagly, Beagly. Beagly, Beagly. Where are we going, Beagly, Beagly? Ah, Grape Ape. We got to go over here. Grape Ape was cool. I like Grape Ape. Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Where are we going, Blue Dynamite? Oh, Blue Falcon. Woo. I don't know. I'll do a little impressions, cartoon impressions right now. Mark Tavares is saying, I think I still have the Slam magazine with Rafer on the cover. Says Skip to My Lou on it. Yeah, he's cool, man. I've got some old Slam magazines still, too. I've got that one Slam with Vince on it with the ball behind his head, that red cover, that old Vince Carter Slam. Ooh, I got that somewhere. But yeah, that Rafer Alston one, I think I remember that one. I think I do remember that one. Mark's also saying, I think the headline of the cover was the best point guard you never heard of, and it was Alston. Now, that's probably true because he was coming in, like I said, from the street ball. They knew about him in a local legend in New York, but he wasn't nationwide yet. He wasn't nationwide. And Slam's so good at introducing young players. Like, we could go back a couple of years, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and they're probably doing articles on Jacoby Walter. Very, very young Jacoby coming up. You could probably go into the back catalog of Slam and you'll see like guys coming up before. That's where I first heard the name Jacoby Walter was from Slam magazine. They're probably covering young Jacoby as a prodigy coming up and saying, watch out for Jacoby Walter in 4 years from now. That's stuff. Slam's always been good for that.
I think Scotty was one of them too. Like, I think the first time I ever heard about Scotty Barnes' name was from Slam Magazine, and he was coming up in high school in Florida. And that's the first time I heard his name put on the radar was from Slam. So Slam's really valuable for that and kind of bringing who's coming up next, right? Yeah, you had Alston jersey. That's amazing, man. That's a deep cut Raptors jersey. That's fantastic. I hope you still have it, man. Hope you still have it. Blackhawk saying Hanna-Barbera was the bomb in those days. Yeah. Yeah, Hanna-Barbera. I used to love, all right, down in the States, they had something called USA Cartoon Express. I don't know they had that up here, but as a kid growing up in Florida, we had Cartoon Express on Sundays. You know, Saturday morning cartoons were the best, obviously. NBC, ABC, CBS. And then on Sunday, you watch USA Network for Cartoon Express. And it was great because it would be like Cartoon Express from 8 a.m. on Sunday morning till like almost noon. And then at noon, it was All American Wrestling with Mean Gene Okerlund and WWF. Those were the days, man. You'd be watching Inch High, Private Eye, Grape Ape, the Roman Holidays, all this stuff on Cartoon Express. And then boom, Mean Gene comes on at noon and it's Hulk Hogan time. That's right. Those were the days, man. Those were the days, man. I loved it, man. Yeah, Kaloy saying Hanna-Barbera. Wow, that brings back the memories. Yeah, and also the memories of Hanna-Barbera Land at Canada's Wonderland. Y'all remember when they had Hanna-Barbera Land in the back, behind the mountain, and they had the Scooby-Doo Ghoster Coaster? It's still there. You can still ride it. They had the carousel with all the Hanna-Barbera characters on there. They had the Smurf Village, all that stuff. Yeah, Hanna-Barbera Land. It's not really there at Canada's Wonderland anymore, but it is kind of. The remnants of it are there. That's for sure. The remnants are there. You guys are taking messages back so that I don't go too long. That's right. Let's see. Clue Club was awesome. Those two dogs were hilarious. Yeah, there was like the slow older dog and the young yippy dog. Yeah. Yeah, Clue Club. Yeah, that's one people don't remember. They don't remember Clue Club. Who remembers Lost in Space? That's an old TV show that was on in the 60s with Dr. Smith. He was really bad. And Will Mummy was the kid. And the parents and June Lockhart. Yeah. And and the robot, of course, danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson. Robot, nothing wrong over here. Danger, Will Robinson. Will Robinson, do not touch that pink flower on this alien planet. It's nothing wrong, robot. You're always taking my fun. Danger. Yeah. Kia MVP will be awarded tonight. All right, SGA, get that award. That's right. Stargate saying, I used to watch Cartoon Express. We got USA Network and Caribbean. Yeah. Who remembers Kids Incorporated? I remember that too. That's right. Fiercely saying, if they declare Jokic the MVP, I'll be very unhappy. That would be weird. I'm just going to say that. That would be very weird. Like if they went all the way through the 7-game series and SGA just beat Joker, all of a sudden they give Nikola the 4th MVP award in his career. That would be weird. I don't see this happening. But if they did do it, that would be a really weird statement about, hey, we don't like you, SGA. Basically, that's what they would be saying if they did that. Seriously. Yeah, Mumbly. Yeah, Mumbly was a bad guy. Mumbly. Trevor's bringing up all these old stuff. All right, let's do the card, man. Let's do the card. I used to have playing cards that were Hanna-Barbera, and they were awesome, man. Like Yaki Doodle and Huckleberry Hound and Yogi Bear and all them were on the cards. It was cool, man. Having Hanna-Barbera cards. I bought them at Canada's Wonderland, actually. All right, yeah. And I also had a little stuff, Captain Caveman from Hanna-Barbera, too. That was really good, man. All right, guys, we're going to do the classic card. Anything's possible. Let's go, SGA. Lost in Space and his ripoff, Space 1999. I don't remember that one. Yeah, Mumbles. Mumbles from Dick Tracy. That's a different character. We're talking about the dog, Mumbles, is what Trevor's talking about. He was like a dog, and he laughed. He went, yeah, he was a bad guy. I think he was on Laugh Olympics. Remember that one? Laugh Olympics, where they had all the Hanna-Barbera characters going against each other in Olympic events. And there was the bad guy, the Dread Baron, and he was with Muttley. Muttley and Mumbles were like the same character, just different names. It was like a little laughing dog. It was always like a jerk. Yeah, that Mumbles. Yeah. All right, here's the classic card, guys. Who is this, guys? Classic card. Full name answer. Don't half-ass me. Give me the full name. And let's see who that other guy is. That other guy is actually a good name there, too. You can probably figure out who the other guy is easier. But who is this? Who is the classic card today? It's a classic Skybox first series card. So that places this around 1990. just so y'all know. This is an original Magic player, just so y'all know. This is original Magic player, first-year Magic. Marvin Williams is not right. That is way too recent. Marvin Williams, man, come on now. That's in the 2000s. We're talking about 1990. Look at that man who's holding him right there. You know who that is. Come on now. We know who that is. That is a legend in Raptors lore right there. Of course that is. That is our guy, our number one dude. He hates the owner of the Knicks. We know who that is behind him. Yeah, that is actually, you got it right, Slug Deezy, but you spelled his name crazy, man. You spelled his name crazy. Nick Anderson's not right. The original first draft pick of the Orlando Magic franchise, Nick Anderson, a great player. I love Nick Anderson. That is Charles Oakley behind. That's right, Fiercey. That is the Oak Man. It is Terry Catledge. He's right. He just spelled the name crazy. Yeah, Terry Catledge was the leading scorer for the original Orlando Magic team in the first year. I don't know if you guys knew that. Terry Catledge was a scorer who came to the team, and him and Reggie Theus were the two main players on the first year of the Magic. They were very, very important then. I think Terry was he on Washington before he came to Orlando in the expansion draft? I think he was on the Bullets. He was a Washington Bullet, and then he got picked in the expansion draft by the Magic, and he was on the first year of the Orlando Magic in 1989. And yeah, Terry Catledge was the leading scorer for the Magic that year. So I don't know if it's got the stats for Orlando on there. Yeah, you see, he was averaging 19.4 points. And he was the leading scorer for them that year. That's right. Yeah, there you go. Terry Catledge. So we're going to give Slug Deezy. That one's kind of hard, honestly, because there's some times past. So I'm going to give him 150 for that one. Terry Catledge was a fairly well-known player, though. Let's see. All right, it's Slug Deezy. 150. Boom goes a dynamite. Good job, Slug. And thank you for not half-assing, even though autocorrect went crazy on you there a little bit. A little bit crazy right there. Yeah, Charles Oakley behind him, of course. Oh, 34. That's right. He looks like Marvin Williams mixed with Al Harrington. Yeah, I don't know. Who does he look like to me that's more recent? You know, he kind of looks like Glenn Robinson. He kind of looks like Glenn Robinson. He's before Glenn Robinson. He's a little bit looks like Glenn Robinson to me, you know. Let's see. Monique's got my cutoff once again. Big dog, Glenn Robinson. That's right. That's right. All right, let's do the rundown. Let's get out of here. First of all, Raptors Reddit reactions. Jamal Shead and other Raptors missed the all-rookie team. Oh, it is what it is. Somebody did a deep dive on RJ Barrett, so you don't have to. And I guess they're looking at his stats compared to New York stats with Toronto stats. Looks good. Here's Reddit's talking about the SGA narrative, about him being a free throw merchant. You know, do you think it's fair? Do you think he deserves that? Or is there a bias against him that's getting carried away? Maybe because he's Canadian is what Raptors Reddit's asking right now about SGA right now. Interesting. Let's see what the comments are saying. Let's see what Raptors reaction Reddit is. There are parts of his game I love and parts of his game I hate. He is incredible at driving, finishing, and can stop on a dime. He has good footwork, good defense with confidence to gamble for steals because the rest of OKC defense can cover him. He is an incredible player and MVP worthy. However, he gets an extraordinary whistle where nobody can effectively guard him on offense when he's the one creating contact while the rest of the team gets a lot of leeway with physical defense. The hate he's getting now seems like too much, though. I blame the refs more than anything. I kind of described this whole phenomena just a few minutes ago about how SGA's body control allows him to get fouls. And once again, because he's a true threat to score, the referees believe he will get the basket. They'll give him the line. That's part of it right there. That's the difference right there. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll read more of these SGA narrative stuff right there. Yeah, there's the votes for the rookie of the year, rookie team stuff. And, yeah, Shed got 2 second-team votes, and that's it. I mean, there's guys on this list that got more votes than him, like Quentin Post, Jared McCain, Ryan Dunn, Dalton Connect, Ron Holland Jr. of Detroit, Kyle Filipowski, and Isaiah Collier. Isaiah Collier just missed out on the all-rookie teams by 1 point to Bub Carrington, just so y'all know. He just barely made it. I think Bub Carrington should be first team. I think there's flaws in this system, honestly. I think there's flaws in this system. All right, enough of Reddit. Let's see if there's anything on Blue Skies that I need to look at really quick right here. Doug Smith posted the thing about Emmanuel Quickley getting the NBA Cares Bob Lanier Community Assist Award for April. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Good stuff. And Blake Murphy's putting on blast also. Really, really good stuff. That was breaking news while I was on here. Very, very good. Very, very good. They're going to announce the MVP at 7 o'clock tonight for the NBA. Let's say happy birthday to a couple people right now. Happy birthday to Jamal McGlure, guys. It is the Big Cat's birthday today, and he is 47 today. So happy 47th birthday, Jamal McGlure, Big Cat, community ambassador. Of course, we follow him still on Instagram and talk about Big Cat Jamal McGlure all the time. He's somebody I probably need to do either Share the Love Club or trivia on him soon. I think I did him on trivia, though. I think I did him on trivia already. But whichever one I haven't done yet, we're going to come back around and get Big Cat again. Probably around Caravana time. I'll do something for Jamal in August coming up just to celebrate him again. But happy birthday, Big Cat. Jamal McGlure, great Kentucky player, and also the first ever Canadian to play for the Toronto Raptors. And just a proud member of the Raptors organization still to this day. And also, got one more birthday. I want to say a very happy birthday. And this is a big one, guys. Honestly, this guy is a former assistant coach for the Raptors, and he is turning 89 today, guys. Happy 89th birthday to Gene Keady. Gene Keady was an assistant coach for the Raptors in 2005, 2006. Yeah, he's a legend in college. He coached for a long time. He's a long-standing, very, very respected coach in the coaching world, Gene Keady. So happy 89th birthday to Coach Keady. He is still with us. And, he was brought in by Wayne Embry. Wayne Embry was friends with him, and he said, I want you to come in and be an assistant coach and senior and help the Raptors in 2005. But then his wife got ill, and he could no longer be an assistant coach with us after at a certain point. So happy birthday, Gene Keady, 89th birthday for him today. Yeah, that's awesome. Some good birthdays today, man. Jamal McGlure and Coach Keady. Yeah, let's go. I'm doing a little extended time, 2.5 hours. That's right. Fiercely saying Pascal averaging 19 points this year, and Arenas saying he should have been number one option by now. According to him, Pacers are in trouble as the playmaker shouldn't be the high scorer. I'm sick of this shit. Everybody putting all these other people down, and Pascal's getting overlooked. Honestly, SGA and Siakam are not getting the right deserve what they're not getting the right due. There's too much overlooking Siakam right now and putting Halliburton in the front spot. He is not the best player on the Pacers. I don't care if he's got some game winners. Tyrese Halliburton is not the franchise player for the Pacers at this point. It is Pascal Siakam. So stop this shit, NBA media machine. Stop overlooking Siakam. Stop over-importancing Tyrese Halliburton, because Pascal Siakam is the solid guy who's carrying the Pacers in a lot of ways this playoff. These Pacers don't do jack shit without Siakam. So stop doing this. I agree with Arenas for once. Gilbert's right. The franchise player of this team is Pascal, and stop overlooking him, NBA media. Y'all are not putting anywhere any kind of just desserts on. I see rankings for the most important players in the playoffs, and Siakam is not even on the list. I'm sick of this shit. ESPN puts a whole thing about what you need to know about the last four teams, and they say the most important player is Tyrese Halliburton. Bullshit. The most important player for the Indiana Pacers is Pascal Siakam. So get it right. I'm sick of this shit. And SGA gets slighted in the same kind of way. These guys are Canadians. That's why. That's right. In my opinion, Pascal's more valuable than Hallie and totally impacted the Pacers since he came over. Exactly. The Pacers are not at this level, elevated in the Eastern Conference without Siakam on their team. And most Indiana Pacers fans understand this, and they know it deep in their heart. They do. But the media is going to disregard Siakam. Well, he's used to it. He's going to come and claw and get everything he deserves, no matter what, even though you will make it so hard for him to get it. He will get it still. Trust me, he will get it. That's right. Seymour saying, another player I tried molding my game after, Walt Williams. John Wallace, big dog type player, versatile stretch threes. Yeah, I always loved John Wallace when he played for the Raptors. He was very crucial for us in those years, and the early expansion years, and the times when he was one of our leading scorers. And Walt Williams was fun to watch. In some ways, he was on that level with Jason Williams and Rafer Alston. There was some street ball in Walt Williams. That's why he's called the Wizard, right? He was the Wizard, and he could do some pretty crafty passing himself. Walt Williams, that's right. All right, Mo, let's go. Oh, stop. There you go. And Seymour's saying, happy Earth Day, Big Cat, Jamal McGlure, and didn't sell us out like Tristan. Tristan Kardashian. Yeah. Jamal McGlory ain't gonna do that to us. No, you ain't. That's right. All right, let's wrap it up real quick. Kareem saying if SGA wins, the commish don't like Europeans. If Joker wins, the commish hates Canadians. Well, either way, you ain't got no American choice. Sorry, Adam Silver, but the American game has gone downhill, and the Americans are falling behind in the global power structure of basketball. And in some ways, y'all not taking care of the future by over glorifying the past. And in some ways, the youngsters in other places are learning how to play better than the Americans at this point. And that's why it's between a Serbian man and a Canadian for MVP tonight. That's right. That's exactly right. That's right. W Stream, W Community. Have a good day. Thank you, Kaz. Running it back real quick. We were talking about how the only thing we got for all rookie was 2 second-place votes for Jamal Shead. They're sleeping on us, just like Jacoby and Jamal are in the picture for the stream. Sleeping. You going to sleep on us? Well, we'll wake you up at some point, but it will be too late for you by then. That's right. The Raptors will be back at the top of the Eastern Conference and challenging for an NBA title when y'all wake up on Jamal Shead and Jacoby Walter, NBA media. That's right. You're going to wake up at some point. We're going to wake you up. And if you don't wake up on those first a couple of times the alarm goes off, you're going to wake up when that Shamshay alarm goes off. Oh, yeah, you will. You will. You will. That's right. Referees for tonight all favor the Indiana Pacers. It's Zach Zarba, Ben Taylor, and Mitchell Irvin that will be manning Eastern Conference Finals Game 1, New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers tonight. Y'all eat at Earl's. Earl's is fine dining. Earl's is in the States. You can go eat at Earl's in the United States, and you will support a Canadian franchise and business. So eat at Earl's Fine Dining Restaurant. It's a family-run Canadian restaurant. There you go. All right. Happy birthday, Gene, and happy birthday, Jamal. And let's get out of here, y'all. Thanks for watching the Raptor Freak stream today. 2.5 hours of fun on the Raptors. Oh, every day. That's what we do. That's right. Every single day. The streak continues. I'm at 1,350 days in a row doing a Raptor Freak stream, almost 4 years in a row. It'll be 4 years in September, guys. We've been doing this. It'll be fun, man. Just keep going. That's right. Seymour saying, I told y'all Pascal is not marketable because his name is not American or English, and it's that simple. That could be part of it. But we got to go, once again, the fan nation that laughed at didn't laugh at us, but said, why are there so many Indian people in the Raptors nation or something like that? We had a playoff game against the Pacers. And a bunch of our fans went down there, and they're like, why are there all these Indian people here all of a sudden? Raptors fans are Indian or something like that. There's a little bit of racism and weirdness with white Indiana. Well, Siakam's a great antidote for them to get enlightened, a little bit more global and a little more accepting of people that are different than them. Different names, different skin color, and a different kind of person from Cameroon. But they love him. Trust me, they love him. And he's going to make a lot of people that may not always like black people more. Let's just put it that way. That's what I'm saying right there. That's what I'm saying right there, especially when he wins the first championship for the Pacers, right? He's going to make them love him. That's right. Wayne saying, in the mode of a conspiracy theorist, Pacers got to beat the Knicks to get Brunson out of the picture. No reason not naming SGA MVP. I didn't even think Jalen Brunson was in the conversation for MVP, but I guess there's a late surge because of his heroics in the playoffs that they're thinking he should be named the MVP. It's partly the overimportance of New York in the whole thing of the NBA, and New York got a taste of success. Oh my gosh, we need to start really considering Jalen Brunson to be the MVP. If they do that shit like a switch all of a sudden and the third candidate, Brunson, comes out as being the MVP tonight, I'm going to be so pissed off. I'm going to be so pissed off. And that is the American candidate, I guess, that they really wanted. That will show exactly what we're talking about. SGA deserves it. We all know that. We've been talking about it all year. Jalen Brunson has not been talked about in the MVP conversations for the most part this year. If they pull a fast one and all of a sudden Jalen Brunson is the MVP tonight, I'm going to be shocked. And, well, we're going to be talking about it tomorrow. That's for damn sure. We're going to be talking about it. That's right. Seymour saying Tyrese is American born. They will push him over Pascal. Only true ballers can see Pascal is the number one option. Yeah. I mean, I would say this. Tyrese is too flaky. There's too often where Tyrese Halliburton shows up, he doesn't show up. Let's just put it that way. And also, in some ways, he's just not steady. Siakam's going to do all kinds of different things night in, night out, and he will help you win every night. Seriously, he will. That's right. Mark's saying they really need to stop announcing regular season awards during the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know what the way to do it is. Maybe they do something similar to other sports where they have a award show where everybody gets dressed up at the end and they sit in a crowd and they announce them. They come up. I mean, there's a lot of embarrassment if you don't win and you're coming down there. I guess it's nice to be nominated, I guess. I don't know. I kind of see what you're saying, Mark, as far as like why they do this is a distraction. In some ways, the timing of the award is a joke considering what's happening in the playoffs. I get what you're saying, but I don't know where you do this. The NBA season's so long, and it's like the playoffs will end, and it's right into draft, and then summer league, and then it's like the cycle all starts again. I don't know where you do this. Do you do this between the regular season and the playoffs, especially since they're given 4 days off between the regular season and the playoffs from a Sunday to Thursday? Do you just have a little award show on a Tuesday night in between the regular season and playoffs? And that way you just say these are regular season awards because no playoffs have happened yet. Maybe you do that. Do you really want to get all the players that are eligible for those awards together in a big room in fancy suits right before they're going to go clash with each other in the playoffs when they should be preparing? That may be part of the problem there too. I don't know. It's interesting though, Mark. I think you're right in some ways. It doesn't totally work. But in some ways, how else are they going to do it? You got to wonder about that. Fiercely saying Brunson got the clutch player award. That's enough. Yeah, he's a clutch player award. Give him his participation trophy, and he's good. Let's go, Raptors. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment on the channel if you want, and join the channel. Joining has its privileges. We have a private Discord server where we're sharing stuff all the time, and also a Facebook group where we're sharing stuff all the time. And you get access to those if you become a channel member. So consider if you want to be a very well-informed Raptor fan that knows everything that's coming up and going on as it's going on. That's the place to be with us on our Discord or on our Facebook group, because those are the two places where we're doing stuff. And that's where it is. Oh, this is the other wow I wanted to do real quick right at the end, guys. I almost forgot about this. Fanatics is doing a Fanatics game next month in June, and they're going to have 50 competitors. It's pros versus Joes. It's going to be professional athletes like Kevin Durant and James Harden are in this. Yeah, they're already committed to this as NBA players. And Tom Brady's going to be in this too. And what they're going to do is they're going to have 25 real athletes from real sports versus 25 fans. And they're going to do a gauntlet of events. And they're going to be from all sports. And all of the athletes are going to do all the sports. So Kevin Durant's going to have to do football stuff, wrestling stuff. I forget what all the list is. It's pretty crazy, honestly. Like in the list of things, let me just go over it real quick. And the prize is crazy too. All right, first of all, the events are quarterback skills, basketball shooting, soccer goal scoring, baseball pitching accuracy, washer dryer hockey shootout, WWE superstar entrance, UFC striking challenge, and closest to the pin golf challenge. So they're basically doing a whole bunch of sports. They're taking athletes from all the different sports. The list is Tom Brady, CJ Stroud, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Draymond Green, Russell Wilson, Rob Gronkowski, Alex Rodriguez, Odell Beckham Jr., KSI, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. And basically, you're going to take 25 of these athletes from the real sports and then 25 fans, and they're all going to compete against each other. So you're going to see Kevin Durant doing hockey shots and doing a WWE entrance, and they're going to all be graded on a scoring system. And out of all those 50 people, whoever gets the highest score will get $1 million. So these athletes are actually playing to win also. So Kevin Durant is going to get the chance to go against fans that he argues with on Twitter all the time for $1 million prize. Second place is a Ferrari. They're going to give a Ferrari to second place person. And the third place is some sort of really rare Topps Chrome Gold Refractor LeBron James rookie card that is valued at almost $200,000. So 25 fans, 25 pros, in this gauntlet of events like a Laugh Olympics, and the top 3 get those prizes, and they may be athletes that get them all, probably likely. And the top fan will get $100,000 no matter what. So this sounds like a very interesting event. And in some ways, I want to see what these different athletes do in different sports. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'll be kind of fun to see Kevin Durant try and do a golf shot, hitting the ball towards the pin as close as he can. So it's kind of interesting, man. Really, really interesting. Mark's saying thought. Maybe they announce and present the awards at the last home games of each winner. I mean, they should have a winner by the last 5 games of the season. That's an interesting idea. That they do it in the regular season, the last home game for that team for the winner, and they can do it in front of the fans and make it literally a special thing. Would that be a distraction from the game, possibly? Will it matter? Is that game important because of the playoff standings, possibly? Or are they tanking or just not trying to win? I mean, there's a lot of questions there. It's an interesting idea. I like it, Mark. It sounds like you give us some good ideas. That's one of the things we do on this channel. We're a think tank of positive Raptors fans, and we're always trying to strive to achieve ingenuity and different kind of ideas and different kind of things. And we've come up with some interesting stuff. That's not a bad idea, honestly. I like the fact that the home fans will get to see the person get the award in front of them, and it makes it more kind of like a warm feeling kind of thing. I like that, Mark. All right, let's go, Raptor Freaks. And I'll be back with Maxime Renault on the Thursday Think Tank call-in show tomorrow, y'all. Give me a call. I'll have the number up, and you guys can call me, and you'll hear your voice on the show tomorrow if you do call me. All right, let's go, Raptors. Within Toronto Tempo and Team Canada basketball. Always, let's go CBL. That's right, Raptors 9 to 5. Let's go.